crowding this dormant world somehow. Unsheath the sword not to kill, unsheath the sword to rend those clouds above the ground. Wake up, it's time to gather now. The only warmth remains in hands clasped so tight. The only fire exists in brave hearts. Seasons that refuse to change over the years will find their way back on track. We made a choice, go fight against your fate. Pain will come with the pain. Pain will wake up the despondent crowd in this dormant world somehow. Unsheath the sword not to kill, unsheath the sword to rend those clouds above the ground. Wake up, it's time to gather now. We have nowhere to go, where they are headed for. See and lights on fire, just blaze through the storm. We know it's right over there, something is there. Whatever is arriving will be prepared. We made a choice, go fight against your fate. Pain will come with the pain. Pain will wake up the despondent crowd in this dormant world somehow. Unsheath the sword not to kill, unsheath the sword to rend those clouds above the ground. Wake up and hear the cheering sound. The way to celebrate, I'll be waiting till we make it. The day to celebrate, I'll be waiting till we make it. Oh, we will see. Come with me, take the journey. We will see. Come with me, take the journey.
Get rid of the press from the rusty time, those years. Don't stay in a daze looking for a sign. Start and try. Run across fields of ice, but hidden in starlight. Be well aware of roads we've gone by. Put yesterday's aside, need a future head on. Now trailblazers keep credos in mind. One, stop staying within the lines. Two, we always align. Three, even if we don't get the upper hand, we'll fight for our
wrapped in biting wind. Hearts will never bleed, frozen and vanished out of greed. In their restless dreams, they try so hard to breathe. Pulses flutter and sting within this bleakness. Pain will come with the blame. Pain will wake up to death, bond and crown in this dormant world somehow. Unsheath the sword not to kill, unsheath the sword to rend those clouds above the ground. Wake up, it's time to gather now. The only warmth remains in hands clasped so tight. The only fire exists in brave hearts. Seasons that refuse to change over the years will find their way back on track. We made a choice, go fight against your fate. Pain will come with the blade. Pain will wake up the despondent crowd in this dormant world somehow. Unsheath the sword not to kill, unsheath the sword to rend those clouds above the ground. Wake up, it's time to gather now. We have nowhere to go, where they all head for. See and lights on fire, just blaze through the storm. We know it's right over there, something is there. Whatever is arriving will be prepared. We made a choice, go fight against your fate. Pain will come with the blade. Pain will wake up the despondent crowd in this dormant world somehow. Unsheath the sword not to kill, unsheath the sword to rend those clouds above the ground. Wake up to hear the cheering sound. The way to celebrate, I'll be waiting till we make it. The day to celebrate, I'll be waiting till we make it. Oh, we will see. Come with me, take the journey. We will see. Come with me, take the journey.
days looking for a sign, starting dry. Run across fields of ice, but hidden in starlight. Be well aware of roads we've gone by. Put yesterday's aside, meet the future head on. Now trailblazers keep credos in mind. One, stop staying within the lines. Two, we always align. Three, even if we don't get the upper hand, we'll fight for right. Four, never care and report hindsight. Five, let us light the night. Six, even when there are wills within, we'll go ahead. Get it pulverized.
Wrapped in biting wind, hearts will never bleed. Frozen and vanished out of greed. In their restless dreams, they try so hard to breathe. Pulses flutter and sting within this bleakness. Pain will come with the blade. Pain will wake up the despondent crowd in this dormant world somehow. Unsheath the sword not to kill. Unsheath the sword to rend those clouds above the ground. Wake up, it's time to gather now. The only warmth remains in hands clasped so tight. The only fire exists in brave hearts. Seasons that refuse to change over the years will find their way back on track. We made a choice, go fight against your fate. Pain will come with the blade. Pain will wake up the despondent crowd in this dormant world somehow. Unsheath the sword not to kill. Unsheath the sword to rend.
欠债还钱，700年不晚。这年头，欠债的才是爷们。由我负责的项目，容不得闪失。你也要咨询债务问题？让着，狠狠的砸！啊，对了，目光放远，聚焦长线，就是投资成功的秘诀。这个项目就算结了。
打开微信，搜索公众号“星际老男孩 SC Boy”， 这里有每日的直播预告、重要的赛事报道、精彩的视频剪辑、有趣的主播八卦、定期的抽奖福利以及爆笑的节奏和评论。关注 SC Boy 官方公众号，365天每天更新，让你与20万猛男一起更便捷的享受我和黄哥给大家带来的快乐。不要告诉别人哟。
And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another week, another day of WTL World Team League 2023 Winter Contest Round 7, day number 1. And we are a little bit earlier than normal. Usually WTL, it's over Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but this week it is one day sooner. Here on a Thursday, we have day number 1 of WTL. Tomorrow we have a day off of WTL, and then Saturday and Sunday is still scheduled as planned, just one day earlier. And we are here with our first matchup of the day, Onside versus Starlight Twinkle. Let's go, Poppy. Let's go. As we dive right into the match. And in the top left, we have Solar for Onside. And in the bottom right, we have a Starlight Twinkle. It is nice. Nice. Oh, he has my jacket. And here we go. And a big shout out to the sponsors, as always, Doyu, Honkai Star, Tidal, and Autoful as well. I did notice some people in the chat. How are we watching? Honkai Star. Oh, you can see them right there. Again, one of the new sponsors this season of WTL is a gacha game. I think it's like an MMO, like an anime MMO, kind of like a Genshin Impact. Honkai Star. I don't know anything about it. Smile plays it. I should ask Smile about it. I should. But it's great. It's really cool to see that they are supporting, of course, StarCraft, supporting WTL. Without them, without those lovely sponsors, we would not have World Team League this season. It wouldn't be as big, as amazing, as beautiful. We wouldn't have Kung Fu Cup. We wouldn't have some KFC. We wouldn't have Masters Coliseum. So thank you. Thank you. As we get into this game 1 here on Oceanborn, as a reminder, the first map is predetermined, and map number 2 is Loser's Pick as well. Solar coming off hot, Papi. As a new GSL champion, it has been a while, been a hot minute since Solar has won a championship, so amazing to see that he's still got it in him, that he's on fire at the moment, and we'll see if Nice can slip him up, because Nice, not a bad player in his own right, of course. He is one of the best in his own region. This series is being played by replays, by the way. And I'm pretty sure the reason for that is because ESL Masters Asia is also about to begin, and I imagine that Nice is preoccupied with that event. So that is why we do not have player cams. Typically, if we don't have player cams, 1, we may just not have the cams, but 2, it may have just been matches played ahead of time just to make sure that there's no scheduling issues, there are no conflicts here between the players. As so far, standard openers, Hatchgas Pool from Solar, going to take the Unnatural Natural. Likewise, Nice going for a Gate Expand into a Cyber Core as well. Everything is looking as it should. But really, my eyes are on Nice, because Nice can be very unpredictable. He can play standard, this is true, but usually he adds his own flair. He adds a twist to things and does his own thing his own way. So we'll keep our eyes on Nice to see what he brings to the table. And already, oh my god, it's a Gate Expanded to a Cybercore straight into a Forge. This is very out of the norm. This is very suspect. Going for a Forge this early on, we're rushing into +1 attack. This should be for a timing attack. I wouldn't be surprised if this is even just a 2-base all-in. Maybe +1 with slow lots. I'm trying to piece this together. No Twilight Council, so no charge, no blink, no glaives yet. This could be +1 with Immortals if we throw down a Robo and start Immortal production. I'm really curious how this is all pieced together here, because I just mentioned, again, Nice, he can be crazy sometimes. There it is, Sentries are commencing. Sentries are going to be king early on. With Force Field without Ravagers, it's going to be difficult to deal with this. We already have the Overlord being zoned away. This is a tell that it's a Twilight Council opener or something other than a Stargate, and that's true, it is something other than a Stargate. And there is that Twilight Council now on the way. So I'm curious to see if we go for Blink or Charge. I'm imagining Charge alongside this, typically with +1. Charge, maybe even with the Templar Archives for a couple of Archons as well for a big timing with +1. I'm curious, again, how this is all going to come together here, and whether or not Solar can actually scout this. As for now, Solar, he's trying to dive in with his Overlord, trying to reroute himself and try to get some scouting information. He's going for a safety Roach Warren. This is a sub 4-minute Roach Warren, like 350-ish. There's charge on the way. Yep, so it's going to be a charge +1 all in. Roach Warren at 4 minutes is safety, and because of that, Solar, he will have Roaches in time for this attack. Whether he has enough of them, yet to be determined. we will see. As 5 gates are on the way, 1 was already done, so that's 4 gates are on the way, 1 was already done, so 5 gates in total. I wouldn't be surprised if we get like maybe a 6 gateway behind this. Robo now in production for, I imagine a War Prism to reinforce. Sentries, multiple of them reveal themselves. This is a bit of a tell. Additional Zealots are also revealing themselves as well. So the Lings are coming in from behind. They're going for a surround. They're going for the sentries, and they're going to get one at least. They may even get both of them as well. Ay. This is a brutal pickup here as, yeah, the sentries are going to go down. A Stalker as well. Zealots are being focused down. This is a disaster here, especially the sentries. We needed them. We needed them for the later push. We did need those sentries, and alas, they're not going to be available. Not anymore. And this is a disastrous start here for Nice. Solar back at home. He's chilling, you know, he's just working on his lair. He's droning even. He has the freedom to drone, which is wild. Something that, yeah, would not typically be possible. And now we're working on a +2 timing. So really fast +1 into really fast +2. This is the timing that we're going to be hitting. It is a little bit later than I'm sure he would have liked, and it's going to be a little bit less potent because of how much has already fallen this game. But we're going to have to make do with what we got. Ay. As for now, we do have the third base on the way. Charge has already been revealed. That's already a bit of a tell as well. Roach is now on the way for Solar. He is just preparing himself physically, preparing mentally as well for what is to come. Oh. Hold on. I'm just trying to catch up. And here we go. We are pushing across the map. We have our Immortal. We have Zealots. I believe we have a War Prism. Yep, we have a War Prism on the way to reinforce. It's all or nothing for Nice. This is a little bit disjointed. You can see that +2 is still like 70% done. So +2 is actually not going to finish up in time for this attack. So it's a little bit, again, a little bit mistimed here for Nice. The Zealots have already revealed themselves. Roaches are already being pumped out here. Solar well prepared for this. And yeah, this is just a little bit lackluster out of Nice. He would have liked to have hit with, like, imagine sentries here. Sentries would have been amazing. There are 0 Ravagers for Solar. Sentries would have changed everything because we could have fought half the army at a time. And then Nice could definitely overwhelm. Here in a head-to-head fight, it's going to be that much more difficult. But we got to commit. There's no other way. Nice is at 13-9 probes. He's completely all in. Zealots are getting on top of the Queens at least. Roaches are kiting back. The Queens are going down one after the other. The Prism is going to be able to survive. The Immortal doing a lot of damage in the back line. Good kiting here from Solar. That Roach one is very exposed. We'll see if we can get on top of it. We do have a couple of Zealots getting into the mineral line. Drones are going down. The Immortal putting in so much damage as well, but the Zealots are dwindling. The Zealots are going down one after the other. There's only 2 left, soon to be 0 left. Only the Immortal survives. And we get a couple of drones, but not much else. GG gets called, and Solar will survive the all-in and take game number 1. GG. GG, well played. Now, I like the idea. Overall, I like the idea of Nice to go for a charge all-in or a charge-based all-in, but I did feel like a little bit disjointed there in the execution, right? I mean, it was a shame. It was a big shame to lose the sentries so early on. Like, losing those sentries was brutal, and it was an uphill battle from that moment. It felt like we tried to hit a +2 timing instead afterwards, and +2 finished by the end of the fight even, so didn't really impact it too much. There were a lot of Zealots, and I mean, Nice, he killed like half the Roaches, right? Like, that was crazy. So again, like, imagine if we did manage to preserve our sentries over the course of that game, if we were able to get just a little bit more out of that army, then maybe he could have pulled it off. Regardless, GG, we're getting into game number 2. This is, of course, Nice's map pick, and here we go. In the bottom left, we have Solar for onside. And in the top right, we have a Starlight Twinkle. Nice. Here we go. Now, this makes perfect sense for Nice's map pick. This is considered to be a very Protoss-heavy, Protoss-favored map in this matchup. And Nice has shown us a lot of potential on Radisset Station. For those wondering, we casted Nice versus Serral last week. I believe it was the ace match of Starlight Twinkle versus Team Basilisk. And Nice didn't look bad. He was able to force a longer game here against Serral. He was able to get to late game. If you remember, specifically in that game, Nice, he faked out Sky Toss. So he went for Stargates. I think he went for a Fleet Beacon. And then he hard switched into ground toss from there, trying to trick Serral, trying to fake him out. Did end up full base versus 4 base, I'm mistaken, but didn't quite get the momentum that he was really looking for. And Barely wasn't able to bring down Serral. Did go to late game, like was drawn out definitely, but wasn't able to really break the economy or break the armies of Serral. But we'll see if he has a little bit more success here against Solar. I'm also really curious what the strategy is going to be. I mentioned before that against Serral, Nice did go for a fake out. He started off with Sky Toss, then quickly switched into Ground Toss instead. If I'm not mistaken, I could be misremembering, or I could be thinking of a different series. We have also seen Nice go for Tempest Rush on this map. He's gone for Fast Tempest because Tempest, they do actually punish the mineral line at the natural. You can actually kill the workers as they are exposed to the to the rest of the map. So you can actually make really good use of that that kind of cliff face at that natural base. Meanwhile, this is a 2-gate opener. So before we can talk about the mid game, we need to talk about the early game. With a 2-gate opener, Nice is going to be opening up very aggressively. This means that he can get 2, 4, and then 6 adepts very quickly here. He's going to be zooming across the map looking for economic damage. Very interesting way to open up here on Radisson Station, but I think it makes a lot of sense. There have been a lot of Zerg players on this map that open up very greedily. What I mean by that is opening up gasless. We've seen a lot of gasless openers on Golden Aura, and we've also seen a lot of gasless openers on Radisson Station as well. We can see that Solar didn't skip his gas though, so he's playing very standard, very safe. His third base is going to be the triangular third here towards the left-hand side, which is going to be a little bit faster. He doesn't have to worry about mining out the mineral patches, and he can preserve his pocket base for a little bit later instead. And we have our Stargate on the way. Now, what's interesting, it was a 2-gate opener, yes, but we're actually delaying the adept production in favor of the Stargate here instead. So these adepts are a little bit late. We could have seen them a little bit earlier here instead. Warp Gate has already been delayed as well. So the 2-gate, it looks like it was mainly just to wall off, less so about getting damage done. So Nice, he's just being very safe, very secure. Adepts are going to be coming out soon. Sure, we have a pylon across the map to reinforce, but it does look like Nice is more concerned about getting into a more economic position. Void Ray is on the way. That's going to be shutting down Overlords. And Nice is already mining through those middle patches, so he's going to be going for a very fast third base. And he can cut corners. He doesn't have to make additional oracles because there's no threat of a Ling run by denying that third. So again, Solar, he's free to just expand and take that third. But again, I'm just really curious about where he goes from here. After the Void Ray comes out, after the Void Ray kills the Scouting Overlord, that's when we're going to find out what exactly he wants to do. Is he going to rush into Tempest again? Is he going to go for a second Stargate and then a Twilight Council afterwards to go into Ground Toss? You know, do we commit to carrier production? Do we go into an 8-gate charge all in? We have seen 2-base all ins from in PvZ on this map before. I think it was Strange. Last week, also in WTL, he did go for a 2-base all-in where he focused on killing all the overlords, and he actually didn't take the pocket base, and his opponent didn't know that there was no pocket base, and Strange was almost able to cause an upset, but barely was not. So again, we got options. Meanwhile, third base is being taken for Nice. Back at home, Solar is going for his lair on time. Roach Warren, safety Roach Warren as well, around 4-minute mark. So Solar being very secure. If we were casting a player like Dark, mate, he would have gone gases. He would have cut so many corners. He would still be joining and making queens by now. We wouldn't be seeing gases until the 5-minute mark. But we can see that, oh god, we can see that Solar is being just very safe. Even though he can cut corners, he isn't. He isn't cutting corners. I think that goes to show the confidence that he has. Like, he's like, you know what? I can play standard. I can arguably put myself behind, but I'll be able to keep up with you as long as I make sure that I don't die early on. I should be okay getting into the mid game. As you have to say, shade in, and oh my god, 4 workers already do go down. 4 workers for 4 adepts. It's an okay trade. I'm sure Nice would have liked a little bit more damage there, trading 1 for 1. As we have a Void Ray going for another Overlord, we have those 2 Oracles getting 3 more drones here at the third base. Very nicely done. 7 in total, so makes up for it a little bit. Spire is on the way. Meanwhile, we can see this is not Skytos. We have Double Forge 1-1 on the way. This is going to be a ground-heavy composition out of Nice, which means this Spire is going to be an interesting one. If we don't go Blink, and if we go Charge, and with +1 armor, I'm feeling Charge. Charge Archon even. This is going to be concerning. Okay, we have Blink. Whew, thank God. So because we have Blink on the way, we will have an answer to Mutas. With this Spire, I'm sure Solar was just anticipating Sky Toss, but as now he's scouting, he confirms Twilight Council, Temple Archives. That's going to be for Archons, for potentially Storm, a Blink, Charge, all that good stuff. He's confirming that it's going to be a Ground Toss army, which means instead of Corruptors, he could still go Mutas. Meanwhile, 7 more workers are going to be going down. The Adepts are being cleaned up as well. That's a lot of economic damage. Solar being punished here for not having a Spore. Ay, ay, ay. Lack of Spore really is hurting Solar here. And as a result, Nice, he's not in a bad economic position. He's actually ahead. He's at 60, 68 now. Probes as opposed to the 63 drones of his opponent. There it is. Mutas are on the way. Because there's no Sky Toss, we are free to go into Mutas and we can try to harass those mineral lines. We can try and shut down what is across the map. Oof. And we'll see if we can bypass the army. So far, the Spire hasn't been scouted. Oh, no, never mind. It has. Ooh. Has it, though? The Spire has been spotted, but I didn't see any cannons on the way or shield batteries. So it looks like the units may have seen this, but it looks like Nice himself did not spot this. Oh, so that is less than ideal here, as we do have the Mutas going to be hitting the field. They're going to be getting ready to dive into those mineral patches. And here we go. We do go straight for the bases. We go straight for the natural base. Sorry, straight for the pocket base as well. Static defense still not done. Probes are going to start going down. Oh, we do go for the Stalker instead. A lot of workers are low, and it looks like finally we do get into the mineral line. Only 2 probes. Nice. Minimizing his losses. Could have been a lot worse. Could have been so much worse, but does minimize those losses. We do have links on the right-hand side, but they're being cleaned up by the Archons. And these Mutas, they are denying a lot of mining time, but they did not kill the workers. The probes have survived, and Nice's economy is still looking damn good. As long as we can get back to mining at that. Once we can get that going, we should be in a decent position. Meanwhile, Solar, he only made 8 Mutas. This is only enough to harass. They can one-shot workers. And what this means is that he's focusing on a ground army, still just pure Roach Ravager. Solar, he is on the cusp of maxing out, and I'm concerned for Nice. The reason for this is because Nice doesn't have Immortals, doesn't have Disruptors, no Robo-based composition here. It's just Blink Stalkers, Storm, and Archons, which means a big Roach Ravager army, they can get out of control. And here we go, Solar's pushing in. Pushing towards the bases of a Nice. He's diving on top of the High Templar. They're going to be focused on one after the other. Storm is not good enough. Not against Roach Ravager. Overcharge doing what it can, but we just power through the overcharge anyway. The Zealots are going down one after the other. I think they're slow lots. Am I crazy? As they do get cleaned up as well. And yeah, Nice. He just doesn't really have what it takes here to deal with this. This 4th base is going to be broken. We'll see if he can slow this army down and hold on to his natural. At the same time, units, they're coming from behind. There's still no stack defense. No cannons, no shield batteries in the pocket base. The Mutas are getting out of hand, getting out of control. Files connect, no shield battery at the natural. GG gets called, and Solar will take the 2-0. GG, well played. I appreciate that we tried to switch into something like Ground Toss instead of going for the traditional Sky Toss on Radisson Station. But as we saw, we just were woefully underprepared for a Roach-based composition, which is surprising because the Oracles were scouting. They saw the Roach War and they saw the researching. They caught glimpses of the army. The Mutas weren't dealing too much damage, but again, without Immortals or without a proper defensive setup here, with Storm instead of something like Disruptors, like we just didn't have an army to deal with what Solar brought to the table. GG, well played. Solar does start off with a solid win. Again, you know, he's hot right now. He is looking damn good. He's one of the best players in the world, and he does start off with a win. But we'll see if Starlight Twinkle can fight back. Because up next, Ryung versus Wayne. And Wayne is the ace player of Starlight Twinkle. He is the player looking to fight back, looking to put some points on the table, maybe even tie up the series as well, and give Cham a chance. Because he's still up against Maru, which is terrifying. It's a terrifying thing going up against Maru, but we'll get there when we get there. For now, Ryung versus Wayne. We're going to be going on a short break. When we return, we'll have our TVZ. See you soon. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. We just wrapped up with Solar versus Nice in our first matchup of this Team League match, and now we are here with Ryung versus Wayne. Oh boy, of course, onside they lead the series 2-0, but Wayne is the ace player of Starlight Twinkle, and we are looking to fight back. We are looking to tie up the series, and here we go in the top right-hand corner. We have Ryung for onside. And in the bottom left for Starlight Twinkle, it is Wayne. Here we go. Again, the first map is predetermined, and we're loading into Hecate. Going to be an interesting matchup here. Again, Hecate is one of the more open maps. There are plenty of bases to be taken, and this can lead into a bit of a longer game. As I say that, though, even though I crave for a longer macro ZVT, I do know that Wayne can be a very aggressive player, and I'm really curious to see how he approaches this series as well. This is an interesting one, right? I would actually say that Ryung and Wayne are pretty comparable in skill. I do think Wayne is maybe a faster player, again, a more aggressive player. Ryung, though, can slow the game down. I'm not saying he'll do so in this game, but Ryung, he does have tendencies to go into mech. Doesn't always go into mech, but he does have it within him to just turtle on up, to make use of the new Cyclone, even go into a mass tank style as well. That is something up his sleeve, and that is something to be wary of as well as we do get into this series. So Ryung is one willing to slow the game down. On some smaller maps like Hard Lead, he is very aggressive with a bio composition. We've seen Ryung 8 racks many times, and his 8 racks is terrifying. He's taken down some big Zerg names, even players like Dark with his 8 racks. In the previous season, I believe it was not on Royal Blood, it was on the other one. It was on the green one. One of the more smaller maps that was a little bit more exposed, and the rush distance was shorter. I've already forgotten the name of the map, Smooch. But you know what I'm talking about. So Ryung, yeah, we have seen a lot of aggressive styles out of him in that sense of a 3-base economy, but we'll see how we get into this. So far, racks expand. We do not have the low ground 2 racks opener out of Ryung. He is going for a much more standard traditional opener instead. Meanwhile, across the map, Wayne going for a hatch gas pool. Everything is looking as it should for now as well. Again, Wayne, he's more than willing to throw down a roach warn and go for a big roach timing as well. That is within his wheelhouse if he ever does kind of smell weakness, as Ryung is going straight into that factory. So no 2-on-1. Not going to be a 2-on-1 variation here from Ryung. Instead, going for that factory back at home. So far, everything is looking pretty normal here. We're just going to be droning, setting up our third base. Wayne is going to be taking the forward third base. Interesting choice. It is a little bit more exposed, but maybe that's why Wayne decides to take it, because he can just spread creep from there, kind of launch the creep across the map, and take a more secure fourth base later on, when the fourth is, again, more vulnerable to these attacks. It's maybe in a more secure location. As the Reaper comes in, gets a scout off, does get eyes on the third base. So of course, Ryung, he knows that everything is on the up and up. Link speed more than well underway. And, ooh, interesting. Okay, so we do have a second Rax in production here and straight into a starport. This is not a 3cc variation. This is a straight up 2-on-1, as we do actually hide that starport a little bit further back, actually. So, yeah, interesting. A very aggressive opener out of Ryung. Very aggressive. That third base is heavily delayed. The longer this goes on, the closer to something like an all-in we get. We should be throwing down the third CC soon on the low ground, but we'll keep our eyes peeled. You can see that second Rax is hidden behind the mineral line as well. So Ryung, he's trying his best here to hide his build. When you go for a 2-1-1, usually you don't make Hellions. So he's revealing Hellions early on, trying to throw Wayne off the scent. Now, because of making Hellions, this could even lead into a 2-on-1 Hellbat push if we throw down an armory behind this, or if you work towards an armory behind this, so that the Hellions can add a little bit more firepower, no pun intended, to the 2-on-1. There's that Eve on the way for those upgrades, and we'll see if we end up committing to an armory with this as well. Stim just now started, so we're still a ways away for the push. The Hellions, they do grant some map control as well. Wayne does throw down the Roach Warren. We mentioned it before. Again, the Roach Warren is quite a popular tech choice here for Wayne. He's one with the Roach. It's kind of like Dark as well in a sense. Can be quite aggressive with them. Also quite defensive. They're very larva efficient. Not supply efficient, but very larva efficient. And that can work wonders, especially against something like a Hellbat-oriented push. Here we go. Marines moving out. Again, this is such a weird build out of Ryung. Because the second Rax is so late, Stim is delayed, and we're not going for a 16 medevac like double drop. We're going for a single drop into the main base. No Stim with this, no upgrades whatsoever. We're just slipping on in and we're looking for whatever damage we can get. At the same time, Hellion is going to be threatening the third base. Bit of a multi-prong attack. The drop does dive into the main, but Lings are in position. At the same time, Hellions do push towards the third. So far, a quick reaction out of Wayne. Does wall off in time. Who is going to lose a couple of drones, but does avert disaster, is able to hold off, is able to maintain himself. Does maintain his 3-base economy. Meanwhile, the drop does escape as well. So even though Ryung didn't get too much damage, he got 2 drones, but he didn't lose anything. That's what's important. He didn't lose any of his units. He's going to be reinforcing with another medevac drop as well. And this time he's going to be hitting with Stim. Meanwhile, here comes an Overseer Scout. We get eyes on the 3rd CC, so Wayne now knows it's not a 2-base all-in, but he sees additional Raxes on the way, so he also confirms it is mech. Sorry, no, it is not mech. Thank you. I'm traumatized by it. I'm traumatized. He confirms it isn't mech, thankfully, so he's fully aware of the bio composition coming his way. +1 attack on the way as well. Roach is coming out to defend 1-1 in production. We do have the bio army pushing on through. The first tank is within range of the Evo chambers. First Evo goes down, the second is exposed as well. It looks like Ryung is going to back off. He's going to respect the position of Wayne. Thankfully, +1 carapace was not denied. Still in production. We just go for a big drone drop into the main. The drop does dive into the main base. Wayne out of position here. There are a couple of roaches trickling on in, but we need more than just roaches. We need the rest of our support. The Lings are racing back home as well. And we're threatening that main base. The lair actually isn't here. It's elsewhere. The rest of the roaches and ravagers have arrived. And we should force this back. The target firing, though. 9 drones go down. The tank will fall. A big loss for Ryung, but well worth 9 workers. 9 workers, the gas geysers, Evo chamber as well. A surprising amount of damage so far. And Ryung isn't done. Remember, he's not all in. Now, to wind it back a little bit, Ryung, he had to do damage. He had to kill workers because his 3rd base is so late. It's not even done. It's not even an orbital. And Ryung knows that he has to catch up, so he throws down a 4CC immediately. Again, it goes to show how far behind Ryung is economically. What he lacks in economy, he makes up for in army, as he has 3 tanks back at home. He still has most of his Marines alive as well. He takes down the Spore Crawler on the front lines. Creep is not quite being spread here towards the left-hand side, and Ryung, he's abusing that, just making sure that there is no creep whatsoever. Taking down those tumors. Armory's on the way, 4-2-2. And Wayne is stabilizing. He's re-droning, taking a 4th base, trying to catch the double drop as well. Very limited anti-air, just Ling, Roach, Ravager, but for now, he is able to fend off these drops, building his army back up. +2 carapace on the way. That second Evo chamber's on the way as well. Unfortunately, no attack upgrades here for Wayne, so he's going to be a little bit late in that respect. As we do see Ryung trying to pull Wayne apart, going for a drop here on the right-hand side, going straight for the base. A couple of roaches do trickle in. We're going to be able to buy a little bit of time for the rest of the reinforcements. Again, Ryung just trying to go for some multi-pronged aggression. He is going to be forced back. Drop into the main. Up. Medevacs are so low. Oh my god. They are insanely low. And I can't see those medevacs doing too much damage, as the drop has been missed, but Wayne is going straight for the 3rd. Again, he is up in supply. He's almost maxed out. Just building up a big Ling, Roach, Ravager army. He's on 3-base saturation. Drones are going down. Wayne is pretty committed, and he may be losing some workers back at home, but he is going to crash into the 3rd, and there's nothing that Ryung can do. The SCVs! Ooh, 11 SCVs go down. We do get another drop into the main base, though, so Wayne, he's also taking damage. And the drops are coming in into all 3 of his bases, the main, the natural, and the 4th. Drones are going down. Wayne sustaining a lot of losses, but he's still on 67 workers. He's still on 3-base saturation. He can still sustain himself. But I don't think we should push in. Oh my god, he's pushing into what, 5 tanks? Oh my god. Big biles, insane biles actually on the army. I still think we shouldn't try to force the issue at the natural base, but good trades nonetheless from Wayne. He needs to calm things down. He's going to rotate over, now hitting the 4th base, denying and containing Ryung to 2 bases. That's all he needs to do, just contain Ryung over and over again. Get ahead economically, max out for a second time, work towards a hive, work towards 2-2. Those upgrades for Wayne, they're about to kick in. They are on the way. Meanwhile, Ryung now actually getting in position, having a better fortified location to protect that third base. It's going to be Maynarding over. And again, Wayne, he has to deny this third. Cannot allow this to get up and running. Cannot allow Ryung to get back into this. And here we go, the Biles. Oh my god. They almost take down the CC. It is on fire. It's so close. Oh, can we bring it down? The Biles, once again, they will connect, and they do take down the CC. Big pick off here from Wayne. And now he can trade with the army out of range of the tanks. And Ryung gets knocked down to 3 bases. Technically 2. And there we go. He has to just re-land that 4th as a 3rd. Throwing down a 2nd factory. He's working on 2-2. His army is still terrifying. There's going to be a time here. There's going to be a moment when Wayne maybe kills this 2nd, 3rd base. And then he's going to force Ryung all in. And that all in is going to be terrifying. That's a big tank count. Now, we do have an infestation bit on the way, so thankfully, Wayne, he's thinking about the hive, and he's thinking about Vipers. Vipers will change everything. It's gonna make it so much easier to push into these tanks. Should we push into the tanks, though? As Wayne, he's just diving on forward from a better angle, actually. He's gonna get 1. He's gonna get 1.5 tanks in the end. Not the best trades here. He has to respect these Marines. And Ryung is gonna stim on forward. He knows he can take the fight. Oh, the Biles! Oh my god! The Biles will connect. 30 Marines go down. Ay, ay, ay. And Wayne is not punished. But Ryung is getting this 3rd base up and running. And remember, Wayne is on a 3-base all-in. Like, he's on a 3-base economy. 65 workers. Now he's finally droning. He's getting a more robust economy behind this. But if Ryung is given some time, he can catch up. Especially with that 3rd base now up and running. Yeah, that is a scary thing. Double drop on the right-hand side, single drop towards the left. Ryung, he's trying to get some damage across the map. He's trying to alleviate that pressure and force Wayne to turn back around. Meanwhile, Wayne, he once again cannot allow this 3rd base to get up and running. He's going in for... he's looking to go back in. Meanwhile, here comes a drop. The drones are exposed. And a lot of workers are going down. And Wayne doesn't have a lot of workers to spare. That's 7 drones falling. Meanwhile, a double drop on the right-hand side, looking to push towards that 4th base as well. And you can see that tank counts. That's what's scary here. The tank count of Ryung getting higher and higher. Hive still in production for Wayne. 4 CCs on the way. So even though Ryung has been on the back foot this entire time, he's catching up. Like, he's turtling, he's defending back at home. The drop play is getting a lot done in the center of the map as well, cleaning up a lot of creep. And Ryung is recovering. Now, tech-wise, I still favor Wayne, especially when he gets his Vipers out. Once the Vipers hit the field, everything changes. And there we go. 2 Vipers are on the way. They're going to need a little bit of time to gather energy. They're going to need a little bit of time to actually just get ready here for the assault. Infestors are on the way as well for those fungal growths. And if Ryung does bunch up his army... The Infestors! No! We get some decent fungals, but there's no follow-up. The Infestors, one of them will barely escape. The other, though, will go down. Oh, both of them. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Looks like one of them will barely make it out alive. But this is the push that we were afraid of. Wayne is maxed out. Ryung not too far behind. And pushing into these tanks is going to be such a difficult thing to do. We cannot push in, not without Vipers. Here we go. Ryung pushing through the center towards the natural base. The Vipers, they have arrived. Decent blinding cloud to begin with, but only 1 tank goes down, and Ryung is just forcing his way into the natural base. Where are the Bailings? Bailings just now finishing up, but it may just not be enough as Ryung is forcing his way in. The tanks are far behind, but we're leapfrogging forward. Overlords are going down as well. And this transition was a little bit too late. We have Ultras coming out, but without kindness plating. The Ultras are so fragile. We're getting on top of the army, but there's just too much firepower. 3-3 on the horizon for Ryung, and it looks like he has done it. He has broken Wayne. It was close. Wayne was doing so well. He was doing so well this game. He was denying bases. He was killing the 3rd base. But this counterattack is what we were all dreading. And yeah, you know, once we have enough tanks, this bio army just cannot be stopped. GG gets called, and Ryung will take game number 1. GG. GG, well played. A solid start here for onside. Solo with the 2-0. Ryung going to be looking to replicate that as well. And here on Hecate again, Wayne, it felt like he was doing everything right initially. There was a couple of moments where I was like, are we overextending a little bit? No, it's fine. But what was really hurting Wayne was, I would say, the drop play. The drop play of Ryung was allowing Ryung to get the breathing room he needed to, one, establish his third base, and two, cripple the economy and force Wayne to keep redroning and slow down the transition. What I mean by that, Wayne, he needed to get those Vipers out in time for the push. Not just in time for the attack, but in time for when Ryung started moving out so that we could engage in the center of the map and just have a better fight. Instead, it was delayed, it was late, and the Vipers didn't come out until Ryung was already knocking down the front door, and by then, it was a little bit too late. By then, Wayne had run out of steam, he had run out of momentum, didn't have his Ling Bane ready. It's just a push that did end up catching him a bit off guard, and a big reason for that was the drop play. Like, we have to praise Ryung, praise him where we can, and the truth is that his drop play was doing so much, even before the final drops, even to begin with his weird 2-on-1. he was killing a lot of drones. He was denying upgrades, taking down Evo chambers. Like, his drop play was doing a lot here for him, and maybe what carried Ryung to the end here of this game, where he could snowball out of control and end it with his push. GG, well played. And here we are, we're getting into game number 2, and Wayne, he needs to fight back here and now for himself, for his team. Onside, they need one more. If Ryung takes one more win, then that's going to be it. That's going to be the series. Wayne needs to win this game to give Chem a chance at fighting back against Maru. And here we go. In the top right-hand corner of Equilibrium, we have the Korean Terran Ryung for onside. In top left, for Starlight Twinkle, it is Wayne. Here we go. And again, Ryung, he may have been, he was essentially all in with his push. Like, his economy was crippled, like, he was barely on 3 bases. Like, Wayne was getting out of control with Hive Tech, with Ultras. Ryung was on a timer, but he was able to make it in time, was able to break Ryung before he would get into kindness plating, into his 3-3, into his Ultras, into his Vipers. But now we're getting into game 2. Game 2 on Equilibrium. And this is the Zerg map of choice. We've seen this map chosen many a time here from Zerg players. A big reason for this: one, a lot of bases to be taken; two, a bit of a longer rush distance by ground from opponent to opponent, so you have a little bit more breathing room. And of course, the goal base. The goal base is a big factor here in Equilibrium. Zerg players can take it quite freely, quite early on. You can take it as a 3rd or as a 4th base, and it can really kick in to boost your economy getting into the mid game. I'm sure that's what Wayne wants to take advantage of. Meanwhile, Ryung, God, that opener in game 1 was so wild. Remember, technically it was a 2-on-1, but it was like a Rax into a factory. We made a couple of Hellions as well to hide the 2-on-1, to kind of throw Wayne off the scent, because of the because of the arrangements of buildings as well. It led into a single marine medevac drop without stim. Like, it was wild. It was really difficult to read, and I don't blame Wayne for maybe even being a little bit confused at the start of game 1. It was just so disjointed and so strange, a very strange way to get into 2-on-1. But it worked, and I can see the logic behind it. Again, to hide it, to try to catch your opponent off guard, to catch them unawares. It was unique. It was almost Gumiho-esque. I wouldn't be surprised if Gumiho does go for stuff like that, or even originated that kind of opener. I'm sure Ryung and Gumiho, they are in talks. They've got a history together. They've been on the same team before. For a time, I believe they were both on MVP, not mistaken. We have seen them interact, as the first Reaper does get across the map and gets 1 drone kill. Pretty good so far. Yeah, the Lings were delayed. Wayne, being a little bit greedy, gets punished for it. Not ideal. And behind this, a very different opener. We have a 3cc. 3cc before starport. Very economic here from Ryung. And something that I mentioned before, if you remember, was that Ryung, he can play mech if he so chooses. The Rax is, of course, going to be lifted. We're looking for an Overlord that doesn't exist. A little bit smoked. Overlord is elsewhere, so Ryung, he won't be able to shut it down. He's going to have to race back home with that Rax. I'm curious if we go for a 3cc 111 into mech, or if we're going into bio. Either one is an option, as Wayne, oh my god. Wayne is going for a very fast lair. That's a second gas, guys, or fast lair. With 2 gases, are we feeling Ling Queen Nidus? We don't really have too many queens. We're not making additional queens. I'm curious what this is going to be going for. The goal base is being taken. That is an interesting factor to bear in mind. There is a Rich Vesting Gas Geyser. Are we going to be going 2-base Spire as the lair has been spotted? The lair was spotted by the Reaper. Ryung knows. Ryung does know, and the question becomes, what is this lair going to be for if not a Spire? The other options here, we could do something wild and go into Swarm Host. An additional gas will be required to go like the Miyamika style of going into Hydras, but there you go, gases are being taken. This still feels like it should be a Spire for Mutas, but we'll see. We'll see what Wayne has in store for us. I don't wanna make assumptions here. As for now, we are getting into this, and we're going to be getting our tech of choice. There we go. It is going to be the Spire from Wayne. It makes sense. It does make plenty of sense here, as we are throwing down that Spire. We have a Bailey Nest as well, just to be safe, just to be secure. Likewise, we do have additional Raxes. Double E-base here from Ryung, so it's going to be bio play, not mech, thankfully. Going to be bio instead, because he did see the fast lair. I'm sure Ryung, he can read that it is potentially a Spire. He tries to go in with the Reaper, but alas, he is going to be denied. Reaper is zoned away, and we'll see how hard we commit to Mutas. Something important to bear in mind is we have the Spire in production alongside the Bailey Nest. No Evo Chambers, not yet. So we're not hyper fixated on Ling Bane upgrades, on the melee and carapace upgrades. We're more concerned with making as many Mutas as possible. There we go. We have a soon to be 700 gas banked up. Spire is about to finish. There it is. 7 Mutas are now in production. And so far, the Spire hasn't been spotted, but turrets are on the way. Ryung, he's aware of that, hey, if we're getting a lair this early on, I need to be ready for the potential for Mutas. I think the turret's in the main. I don't think it's quite at the natural. So there may be some angles that we can go in, but yeah, you can see the turret's already done. Third TC is going to be landed on location. We have a Viking out, a couple of Marines. Stim is done. And we'll see what Wayne can get done here, because the Mutas, they're making their way across the map. We have 4 more Mutas in production. Still no Evo Chambers. We have a Bailey Nest for Ling Bane. Oh, but we have a Widowmine in position. Wayne, he has to be careful. Up! Mine shot. Ooh, is going to go off. 1 Muta goes down. Still have 6 Mutas, though. We can still one-shot workers. We go straight for the Tech Lab. But we won't be able to get it. The Marines, they zone back the Mutas, and the Mutas aren't able to get much damage done. But only 1 Muta goes down, and the rest do survive. We still have potential, but more turrets are on the way. Widow Mines as well. Marines. These Mutas, they have yet to pay for themselves. Meanwhile, Wayne, he is now just going to be reinforcing with pure Ling Bane. He's trying to contain his opponent. So if Ryung is pushing out, he's going to be pushing mine. Oh, it's not going to go off. Hellions are surrounded. Bailey's going to be pushing on forward. Big mine shots. Oh my god. Big mine shots on the Lings. The Bailings, they get some decent connections. And Wayne, he needs to respect this army. Oh my god. Need to calm things down. Ryung reinforcing with more Marines. And Wayne is going to back off for now. Again, just resaturating his bases. He's going to give Ryung some breathing room here, and bearing in mind that Wayne, he does have a boosted economy with the gold base. And now he can take a 4th. So the game is going to settle from here. There we go. Double Evo Chambers are on the way, so Wayne is going to be working towards 1-1. He's working towards melee as well as carapace. Gets eyes on the 4cc. That's a big tell. Seeing the 4th and seeing the 2nd factory, this does confirm that we don't have an 8 Rax. We're not going for 3-base all-in. Wayne confirms that he's safe to drone. So he does get a lot of information there. He's working on his upgrades. Unfortunately, Wayne is going to be behind in upgrades, but that is because he invested a lot of his gas into Mutas. And the mutas, even though they haven't killed a lot of SCVs, what they do is the fact that Ryung, he can't go for drop play. This actually could be another reason why Wayne went mutas to begin with, now that I think about it. If you remember, in game 1, one of the big reasons why I attributed the win to Ryung and what I was praising him for was his drop play, right? His medevac drops. They were doing so much over the course of game 1. So this could also be a big reason as to why Wayne chose to go for mutas, because this completely denies drop play from the Terran. This does mean that, of course, back at home, Wayne is free to drone. He is cutting workers at 3 base saturation at 64. I do think he can afford to drone up a little bit further. And yeah, there we go. We have a couple of drones on the way. But Wayne, he is a little bit light or a little bit lax when it comes to droning. Hyperfixated on the army instead. And this does mean that, at the moment, I would say that Ryung probably has a better economy. Maybe an even economy, but that's still not ideal for Zerg. I say even because the worker counts are the same, but Ryung has mules and Wayne has the gold. So they both have kind of like additional factors going for them. The gold is, of course, slowly mining out. Infestation bits on the way for Hive Tech for eventually, I imagine, Ultras. Linking Muta into Ultra does make plenty of sense. Behind this, towards the south, Ryung, of course, getting his 4th base up and running, going for a planetary. Getting it fully saturated. We do have to be very wary of these mines. Oh, they do take down a Muta. And what's scary here is that, again, these mutas are designed to maraude around and to get a couple of pickups. They do get some Marines. Oof. For a muta. But Ryung, he's building up a death ball of an army. Like, Ryung is about to max out, he's going to push. And very similar to the last game, when Ryung starts pushing, I don't know if Wayne can stop him. I don't know if he can stop the eventual rally that's going to be moving out across the map. We do have a little Ling Bane, but again, we're down in upgrades. We just started 2-2. Ryung should be working towards 3-3, and there we go, +3 now on the way for Ryung as we speak. Oof, oh my god, Mine Shot goes off. The Muta's not able to find a way in, and here we go, Ryung is pushing. With Mines, Thors, Marines, and Marauders. Yeah, a lot of Lings going down. Baneling's getting caught out as well. And this is the beginning of what I've been concerned about here. If Ryung starts pushing, can he be stopped? So far, Hive is still on the way for those Vipers. Muta's still looking for damage. Ultra Cavern thrown down. We need a little bit of time here to get into Ultras. And is Ryung going to give us that time? Or can Wayne find the time and even create it here? Again, this is where the Mutas and Ling run-bys, we need to try to force Ryung to turn around. Force him to pull back. And so far, Ryung, he isn't going further than the halfway mark. He's actually still respecting the Mutas of Wayne quite a lot. And this means that Wayne, he's actually getting away with teching. 2-2 is going to kick in a couple of seconds. He's going to be even in upgrades. Ultra Cavern about to finish up as well. Yeah, Ryung is more concerned with turtling at home. Which means that Wayne is going to get away with not just Ultras, but also Kindness Plating and potentially Ultra Speed. Now, Wayne, he does have to make room for the Ultras, so he's going to have to bleed out a couple of units. Some Ling Bane, maybe some Mutas. Oh god, as the mines up! Oh my god. That was so close. We do manage to barely take down both of those mines. Nicely done here by Wayne. Doesn't take any to the face. Speaking of mines, he's going to be pushing towards that third as well. Not much here to defend. Oh, we could even get on top of those eBays. Oh my god, massive mine shot's going to be going off. Yeah, so 63. Oh my god. The mines that go off, 63 Lings go down, but this does free up supply, and Wayne, there it is, 6 Ultras now in production. So in a way, we needed to lose those Lings. I'm sure we would have liked to have traded them a little bit more efficiently, but we do make room for the Ultras. Here we go, Wayne pushing in once again. And he is going to break this third base. Gets on top of the SCVs, on top of some of them at least. 3 of them go down. That was a big loss of Ling Bane, but again, 10, 10 ultras. Now, look, ultras are amazing. Okay, they're big. They're not as big as they used to be, but you know they're big nonetheless. They're beefy. They're thick. But on their own, they're not ideal. We do need some Ling Bane to support, and 1 CC does go down. Good pick up here from Wayne, losing only 3 mutas. But we still need Ling Bane to support them. Like, pure Ultra on their own, they can be, even though they're thinner than they used to be and smaller, like, they're still clunky, as we can see here. It's one Ultra getting stuck amongst all those Banelings. But yeah, Wayne, he's going to get away with all his upgrades. 3-3 on the way. He's catching up with 3-3. Kindness Plating just finished. I believe Ultra Speed is done as well. I always forget what Ultra Speed is called. I'll be honest. It's like... Is it It's not Metabolic Boost, right? That's the other one. The Ultra Boost. There you go. It's Hurricane Thrusters. As we are going to be pushing out, we have Neo Steel Frames on the way. Ryung turtling quite hard right now, and Wayne has not been spotted. Okay, we have the scan. Scan does reveal the army. Bailing's rolling in. We're going straight for the planetary. 8 SCVs go down. The planetary will stand strong at the same time. Mutas, they go into the main base, the picture-in-picture. Ultras are getting picked off. But Wayne, he takes down the armory, gets on top of some of these deepers. Not the biggest of trades here, but trades nonetheless. Oh, the Thors. Oh, so we're going to be losing a lot of mutas here. But it's okay. Potentially, Wayne wanted to lose some of these mutas. We're replacing them with more Lings, Infestors. And we're going to the super late game here. Ryung, he's turtling. Like, we have tank lines, not quite tank lines, but we have turret lines, liberators on the way, ghosts, lib range, Neo Steel Frames, high sec auto tracking. I do like the expanding here of Wayne. Wayne is now, he cut the map in half, and he's now looking to take one of Ryung's bases. And this is necessary. He needs one of Ryung's bases here. Because the reality is that Ryung is going to be trading more efficiently, and Wayne needs to make up for that with a better economy. Ideally, he takes 2 of Ryung's bases. That's asking for much, though. Asking for a bit much, as once again the bases, they roll in, they take down some more SCVs, and this time we will break the planetary. Mine Shot's going to be going off. This is a bit of an overextension. I mean, we took down a base, we take down another. Oh, but a lot of Ultras go down. That's 6 more Ultras. That was 5 Ultras falling, 6 more in production. And what I'm concerned about is if we look at the banks. Wayne is burning through his bank, his gas bank at least. Not his minerals. He can make more Lings, definitely. But Ryung has been trading efficiently here. He still has a bank to fall back on. So that is something we have to keep an eye on whenever it comes to these trades. How well we're trading and how much we're losing. As we are working towards pushing into that gold. Is that me? Is that everyone? No. Oh, no. The clean feed, Poppy. Take us back in. That's something we do cast from a clean feed, and the clean feed has okay, we're back. Dropped from it. We missed out on a minute of gameplay, but we're back. What happened? It looks like a fight went Ryung's way. I don't know exactly what happened, but the base is going to go down. It looks like Wayne was posturing and threatening the gold. It looks like he did fight at the gold base. He did drop some supply, and this time the planetary did hold. Or it's not a planetary anymore, but the gold base did hold. So it looks like a fight did go Ryung's way. Liberators, a siege up. We're just rushing through the freedom zones. We don't even care. The Ultras trying to get on top of the army, but the Ultras are on their own. They're exposed. The Ultras are naked. And, oh my god. 2, 3 Ultras go down. That was an expensive loss for Wayne. And you can see that he is still out of gas. He is struggling to rebuild as he's losing Ultras. He's replacing them with Corruptors, which is necessary. He needs Corruptors to do with these Libs. There are so many Liberators. We need Corruptors, Vipers as well. Wayne just refining his army. And what's scary, Ryung is taking another base. He is taking another base as we speak. Wayne hasn't been able to take any of Ryung's bases. Not yet. He tried to, but was pushed back. As he does fall back, we do see Ryung just settling into another one of these CCs. There's more CCs on the way. We're just pointing out that the ultras are quite low. Some of them one shot from going down. So Wayne has to be wary. Does have to be wary here as they're going to be rotating back around. It may be wise for Wayne to just invest into, whenever he loses some of these ultras, just keep remaking Lings instead. Just so we can build up a gas bank, because it's still something that Wayne doesn't have. To be fair, as I talk about the bank of Wayne, Ryung also is burning through his gas as well. The difference, though, is that Wayne has all of his bases, and Ryung still has to take 2 more on his side. That's also why I'm putting a little bit more emphasis on Wayne, because Ryung, he can still expand. We can see here Wayne is trying to take one of Ryung's bases, but it is spotted immediately. Drop does come in. At the same time, the Corruptors, they dive on top of those libs. We're going to get a couple, but a bit of an overextension. A lot of Corruptors are going down here to the snipes, to the turrets. And the Liberators are going to chase them down. Libs, they aren't known for their anti-air, but with enough of them, they can kill anything. Oof. So we bleed out even more Corruptors. 9 Corruptors for 1 Lib. For 1 Lib. Not the best trade. As the Corruptors have been found and will be cleaned up. Again, expensive gas losses here for Wayne. Now we can see Wayne trying to expand towards the south. Again, he needs one of these, ideally one of Ryung's bases. Liberator going to be harassing. 6 drones go down. See Ryung working on his vehicle upgrades. +3 ship weapons and +3 vehicle weapons. Just getting even further ahead. And oh my god, we have a nuke. We have nukes on the way. 2 more Ghost Academies, 5 more CCs. Ryung is pushing in with a drop here, and Wayne is out of position. The Spine Crawlers, the side defense is going to be able to buy some time, but drones are going down. And Corruptors will have to race back home to deal with that. At the same time, we're able to mine some of the mineral patches. We're technically stealing some minerals from from Ryung. But the base is denied. Yeah, and this is where Ryung's attention is going to be. He's going to be rotating over towards the south. Looking to push in and take another base. Now, even long distance mining here helps Wayne. Like, just taking resources from his opponent. Those are nukes. Yeah, we're just zooming in on the nukes. Nukes are on the way. They can be a really good zoning tool here for Ryung, just to force back Wayne's army. As a couple of SCVs are going down, and there we go. We have a nuke towards the north. Top left. We have a nuke on the way. It looks like it has been spotted, and there we go. Ghost is going to go down. Meanwhile, oh my god, the freedom! Liberation zones have arrived. Big Fungal, there's a lot of Corruptors here. We're going to be able to take down most of these Libs. The Bailers, they crash into the Thors. One of them stands strong. And Ryung will hold his ground. He lost 5 Libs, 2 Ghosts and 1 Thor. Still a more efficient trade. And you can see here, as soon as Wayne lost some of his army, immediately 68 Lings on the way. We have Lings in production. Nuke going to be thrown down. Really just clearing up some creep. Zoning away the army. Ryung still can't push in. Now, when it comes to Wayne's composition, especially after he killed so many Liberators, I would like to see some Broodlords eventually. I'm not too sure if we have a Greater Spire. Oh my god, as we overextend a little bit. But yeah, I'm not too sure if we have a Greater Spire or not. Our air upgrades aren't ideal here for Wayne. But eventually we want to gain access to that, especially as the Lib count gets a little bit lower. As I say that, we are making 3 Thors at a time, so maybe not the best moment here to go into Broodlords. So basically the way that this works, there it is, Greater Spires on the way, so Wayne is thinking about Broodlords. As the Thor count gets lower, that gains access to Broodlords, so that's when we kind of transition into that. As it gets higher, we forget about Broodlords and we can work towards a more mobile army instead. Like Ling Bane Ultra. Or Ling Bane Lurk. Either or. The power here for Zerg is that with all of their tech, they can kind of... Their army is a little bit more malleable, and you do need to be adjusting. You do need to adjust depending on what the Terran player is working with. You can't just be tunnel visioning too much on either Ultras or Broodlords. Like, you need to be a little bit more flexible here with how you approach this army and this late game. So again, Wayne is just taking in that direction. So far, unable to take that southern base. The banks are building up here. As the game has become a little bit more passive, as we haven't been trading as much, we have our banks accumulating. At the same time, we are running out of resources. You can see there, some of the gases are running out for Ryung. And bearing in mind, as Ryung, when he eventually expands, when he eventually takes either the north or the south, that is going to be a big moment for Wayne to try to come in and punish. That's going to be a moment where Ryung leaves himself a little bit more vulnerable. Oh, as a drop does fall. A really interesting placement of the nuke. It's a really random nuke, and it looks like it's almost designed to like randomly catch the army as well. It's very cheeky. Yeah, very cheeky locations here. As yeah, the nuke has been spotted, and Wayne is going to back off. Let's see here, Wayne trying to expand towards the north is denied. And Ryung is finally taking that southern base. It took a while, and a couple of those mineral patches were mined out by Wayne, but what's important is the gas wasn't. So the gas geysers are available for Ryung. Now, this northern base is going to be a little bit more difficult to take just because of all the creep. But Ryung, he needs to stay on top of that. He needs to make sure that Wayne doesn't sneak that base out. So far, he's been doing a great job at denying it. So far. As we do have Ryung, yeah, just pushing forward here with his orbitals, turrets, liberation zones, tanks. Yeah, with this point of elevation, with the high ground, it's going to be very difficult for Wayne to deny that southern base. Here towards the north, there is no high ground, so it's going to be a little bit easier. There are choke points, though. A lot of choke points. Another nuke is on the way. Drop going to be coming in. You can see that Wayne, he wants to try to take these gases, but shouldn't be able to. As we're settling into this. I hope everyone's had a good day. Hope. There have been some really tense moments in this game, but for the most part, things are settling down, and it's coming down to like who can mine more and what banks are we working with. Like Wayne, he's got a 7k gas bank. Like we can fight, we can trade a little bit. Not yet, but soon. Right now, more so than trading, like it's all about mining. And hey, we're taking some of these gases. Yeah, Ryung, he sees he needs to stop this. That is some gas that, in a way, belonged to Ryung and now is being taken by Wayne. You can see that Ryung doesn't want to overextend. He also doesn't want to expose his southern bases. So he's rotating back over. Wayne threatening to push through the center. Does catch a ghost. I love the long distance mining. Go, drone, go. And eventually, Ryung's going to work towards that base as well. The other thing that could occur here, technically, is Ryung, if he pushes towards the south, he could actually try to take one of Wayne's bases instead and trade a base for a base. That is a possibility. Yeah, as we can see, he's slowly pushing towards this base, and it's got some decent mining left. Decent amount of patches. Decent amount of gas. Oh, that was close. As the nuke will not land. You can see once again a couple of ghosts coming in, denying that base. 7 SCVs go down, more nukes on the way. We do save the ghost. Oh my god. A quick unsiege there from Ryung, but is going to be losing, what, 3-4 Liberators. Good pickoffs. Yeah, 4 Liberators. Very nice pickoffs here from Wayne. Able to recognize that Ryung is not towards the southern portion of the map. And everything is, now everyone is fixating their attention here towards the north. We have Wayne's army here. Wayne's army is here. Ryung as well. The ghosts are looking exposed. Oh, but they do back off in time. And here we go. We're pushing up the ramp into all these liberation zones. Oh my god. The Banelings, they crash into one of the Thors, and that was not a good trade for Wayne. A big overextension. The ground army went down. The ghosts all survived, and now this base is going to go down. Now, thankfully, Wayne does have a bank. And it looks like we're going to be remaxing on Broodlords. There we go. 18 Broodlords on the way. That's a lot of broods. And they're scanned. They have been spotted. And as soon as we spot this, 5 Thors at a time. Ryung, he's doubling down on Thor production. Big scout, a big scan. Ryung is just going to be confirming that even more Broodlords. Oh wait, no, they're Overseers. Never mind. We have 18 Broodlords from Wayne. Ryung is aware. That's also like the dynamic, right? I was talking about how you want to be malleable with your army if you're Wayne. Likewise, if you're a Terran player, you need to recognize what exactly the Zerg player is making. Like, what is their army composition after you win a fight? What are they remaxing? The nuke! It's gonna land! And we mule as well? Question mark? As the nuke will connect, taking down 13 SCVs and some of our own mules. That was... Ryung, back. And here we go. We have the Broodlords diving on in. 19 drones went down. We're catching some of the ghosts. 2 ghosts did go down. And the tanks as well. Big push here from Wayne right through the center. Does gain some ground. Snipes are going to be going up. Drop just force back. Decent snipes here. The Fungals will catch a ghost in the end. We're down to 17 Broodlords, but we have more on the way. 3 more to make 20 in total. That's a lot of broods, man. That's a lot of broods. Can we deal with a mass Broodlord army? We do have a lot of Thors and a Concave. Good anti-armor missile. We're going to try and focus them down. So far, a good trade from Ryung. Yeah, snipes going off. Oh my god, that's 5 Broodlords going down in an instant. A good fungal. It catches the ghosts. Most of the ghosts are going to go down. 5 of them do escape. The Ultras trying to break through. Bailey's connect. Not the best connections, and now the ghosts are coming back in. And again, Wayne, he is just being forced further and further back. Yeah, not enough Corruptors. Even the Libs are just straight up attacking those Broodlords. Good fungal! Up! Massive fungal catching 3, 4! 3 ghosts. Only 2 ghosts survive, and we need more. We only have 2 ghosts left in the entire game. 2 ghosts. Okay, we're making 5 at a time. That's maybe not enough. Maybe we need to ease up on some of the Thor production and just get into mass ghost. Meanwhile, you can see here as Wayne has been losing Broodlords, he's rebuilding Thors. Sorry, Thors? Ultras. The Zerg Ultra. Zerg Thor. Yeah, as he has been losing those Broodlords, building a ground army instead. There we go, we're pushing on forward. Fungal doesn't quite connect. And this feels like a really awkward angle here from Wayne. Those Broodlords are exposed. The big focus down one after the other. Yeah, the Broodlords are getting annihilated. We had 20. Now we're down to 2. 2 Broodlords left. And we're chasing them down. The Thor drop. We attempt to chase them down. And yeah, Wayne, he loses a base. Lost a mineral line earlier. He's down to 33 drones. And his army is very battered, very bruised. Um, I'm not too sure how I feel about ultras in this position. Um, I think I prefer like the Serral and Dark method here, where they go instead of going back and forth between Broodlords and ultras, they go back and forth between Broodlords and Hydra Lurker instead. Specifically, I'm talking about how to deal with Mass Thor. And ultras can have a hard time pushing into these entrenched positions. Not the worst option, but definitely still going to be difficult here. Just, like trying to break through those doors. As we're still hyperfixated on that, we have tanks now on the way as well. I mean, ultras, they have their place, don't get me wrong. Do have their place. Yeah, now Ryung, he's taking this final base. Well, he's trying to. He is trying to, as the ultras have arrived. That's a lot of ultras. That's 16 ultras. Oh my god. The problem that I have with this is that I feel like the ultras are going to get in each other's way. But they are a little bit smaller than they used to be, so maybe it's going to be a little bit better. Obviously, it all comes down to the angle of attack, but these choke points are brutal. These siege positions as well. Pushing into these tank lines is going to be a difficult thing to do. Also, I should reiterate as well that if we're talking about lurker play, then we usually have something like more Nidus play and then going for backstabs. Instead, we've seen Wayne just go for these frontal assaults, and yeah, we'll see if he can pull this off as we do try to push up the ramp. Oh my god, but this is not going to work out. It's a meat grinder! The Thors, they stand strong and they take everything down. The Ultras, they don't find any headway. GG gets called, and Ryung is going to take this 2-0 here. Slow and steady, slowly taking these bases. Giving a wave to the fans. GG, Papi, GG. Ryung just slow and steady, slowly taking the southern base, eventually the northern base, and just out trading his opponent. Wayne, towards the end there, it looked like he did run out of patience. It looked like he did run out of a bit of patience there, just forced into this slow style, forced to push into an entrenched Terran player. It's not an easy thing. It is not an easy thing to do at all. I understand the frustrations of Wayne there. And not everyone can be as patient as Serral. Not everyone. Most people can't, actually. Serral, that's where the emotionless state really puts in a lot of work. Where you have to like slowly pick apart the army, instead work with like a higher spellcaster count, and you have to like get one unit at a time and slowly gain value that way. Like it's slow, it's meticulous, and it's But GG, well played. Congratulations to Onside as they will take the series 4-0. My condolences to Starlight Twinkle, especially game one. Like what it was like an hour ago, but remember game one of Wayne and Ryung. Wayne, he was in the commanding position. He did so well. He was dying bases. He was killing workers. He was doing everything right. His just transition was a little bit late towards the end. He wasn't ready for the counterattack. Likewise here. The mutas felt a little bit lackluster. The mutas that were denying drop play, yes, but they weren't really killing too many workers. They weren't really getting too much damage done. And Ryung was able to successfully turtle up, and that's a scary thing. A turtling Ryung, a turtling tuna is terrifying. Regardless, GG, well played. Congratulations to Onside. Now, even though they win the series, we will still be covering the lower match. We will still be covering the best of two between Maru and Chem. That is still going to be casted. Unfortunately, Starlight Twinkle, they can't win the series, but they can fight back and they can get a bit of a better score here. And we'll see. We'll see if El Chamaco can fight back against the might of Maru. See you soon after the break. See you soon. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to our final best of 2 of this series. Of course, onside, I've already taken it 4 to something, but is it going to be 6-0? Is it going to be 5-1? Is it going to be 4-2? Cham, of course, is here to fight back, and here we go in the top right-hand corner of Equilibrium. We have Maru for onside, and in the top left we have for Starlight Twinkle. It is Cham. Oh, once again with the power socket like hazard. Got like 10 appliances like plugged into the one socket. Let's go. Take care, Cham. Take care. Calm down. As we are getting into our next game, and so far we do have Maru going for the low ground racks. Could be a 2-1-1 opener setup here for Maru. We could also see a more special opener with a racks factory. We'll see how Maru does pieces together. Meanwhile, Cham back at home, getting into a standard opener himself. Now, we are in Equilibrium, so we have, of course, access to the faster goal base if we so choose to, as a third or as a fourth. Meanwhile, talking about the players a little bit here, Cham, of course, is a very aggressive player in this matchup. He's very fond of roaches. Actually, very similar playstyle to Wayne, now that I think about it. Very similar playstyle to Wayne. In a sense where, like, he thrives in the mid-game more so than in the late game. At least Cham does, as he's going for his natural location. Meanwhile, it's going to be a 2-racks opener here out of Maru. And with this, we should be getting into additional Reapers. Now, the follow-up is where we really gets interesting, because we can go 2-racks Reaper into a 3cc 2-1-1. We can go into a 3-racks. We can go into a 4-racks. We can even throw down a 3rd racks in the main and go for a mass Reaper as well. There's a lot available, a lot of options for Maru. And even when it comes to this original opener, we don't even have to make 3 Reapers. We can cut Reapers early on and get into faster add-ons. Like, Beyond, he has just shown us such a wide array of follow-ups and just so much, like, meticulous planning coming into, like, these openers. And yeah, it's been very eye-opening when it comes to just how much you can do with this. It's very versatile. Very versatile. Meanwhile, on the other side, Hatch Gas Pool. Standard opener out of Cham. Hatch Gas Pool, going to be eventually working towards a 3rd base. We can see that Maru is not getting a 3rd CC. Sorry, he's not getting a 3rd racks in the main, so it's just going to be a 2 racks and should lead into our natural base, into our follow-up, into the next step, the next stage of play. For now, the first Reaper is moving out. We're getting up to at least 3. If Cham takes his 3rd base too early, then we can double down and get a 4th and 5th Reaper just to contain the Zerg player. And that's the goal here with this opener. For those wondering, these 3 Reapers, it's not all in. It's not designed to kill workers. It's designed to contain the Zerg player, keep them on 2 bases for as long as possible. As we are moving out, there it is. 3rd Reaper has arrived. We have a 4th Reaper on the way, actually. Interesting choice. Maru does make an additional Reaper, and he delays his add-ons. He's going for a factory into a 3rd CC on the high ground. So it's going to be a 3cc 2-1-1 variation. Again, opting to delay the add-ons to just get that faster factory, get the faster CC. Oh, a bit of a misstep there. Oh my god, the Reapers, they get a full scout. Ay. They confirm the fast lair, and fun fact, even Wayne went for a fast lair earlier today as well. on this map against Ryung, it was like 40 minutes ago. But yeah, we saw a fast lair to get into Mutas. Here we see Cham, he's rushing into a Roach Warren. Fast Roach Warren out of Cham, getting into additional gases as well. So this fast lair should be for Roach speed, just to go 2-base Roach. I'd be surprised if we like double down and go into Nidus play, for example. I imagine just for Roach speed, as gases are being taken and Reapers are still trying to find a way in. Maru did lose 1 Reaper when he pushed into the main, but he got a full scout, so it was worth it. It was definitely worth it for Maru to get that scouting information, as the Roach Warren has not been seen, has not been spotted. Now, because we haven't seen the Roach Warren, then Maru... Oh, never mind. I was going to say, because we haven't seen the Roach Warren, then Maru, he may think it's going to be Muta play, just like what we saw against Ryung, but he does confirm the Roach Warren as well. He sees the gases being taken, he gets everything he needs to see, and he does confirm that Roach speed is being researched. And that's 5 drone kills. 5 drones for 4 Reapers. pretty worth it in the end. I mean, it isn't just 5 workers, but all the scouting, right? We confirmed the fast lair, we confirmed the roach warren, we saw everything that we needed to. Maru is aware of the potential for a roach timing, and he's at least mentally prepared. Behind this, we're getting into a biocomposition. Stim is on the way. Soon to be, I'm sure, tanks to support. There we go, the first tank is in production. And likewise, just like how Maru has been scouting his opponent, Chem also going to be diving into the main, trying to get a read on what's going on. Does confirm the upgrades, the add-ons, sorry, the production. Is more aware of the tank production as well. And here comes the first double drop. Remember, it was a 3cc 211. Now, this does mean that the 211 drop is a little bit later. We're at the 5-minute 30 mark. But we do get across the map. Oh, the goal base is being taken. Maru. A little bit adventurous, going for the gold as his third. He is quite vulnerable to a Ling counterattack, but against Roach is a little bit less so. It's going to take longer to get across the map, and the Roaches, they're busy dealing with the drops. And we should have enough to do with this one Roach. Oh, barely doesn't go down. Good control out of Cham. But really, this is just a distraction. This is just designed to keep the creep at bay, to kill overlords, to keep the Zerg player busy while Maru gets away with the goal base. Meanwhile, we have 1-1 on the way. Roach speed is now done. Cham just going to be droning, saturating his third. And from here, like, this is still a win for Maru, just keeping the attention of Cham. Meanwhile, Maru, he's going for 1-1. Armory's on the way for 2-2. Additional Rax is on the way as he's building up his biotank army. Cham is now taking his own gold as the 4th, so not anywhere near as greedy as Maru. Which is why I would say that at the moment, Maru's economy is superior to that of Cham's. We have an even worker count, with Maru having the gold, of course, and mules on top of that. It's brutal. Tis brutal, and soon Cham should be going for his own push. He's going to be droning up to... He should be droning up to 3-base saturation, which is around 66 workers. We have 1-1 on the way. Baneliness as well for Ling, Bane, Roach Ravager. Cham just taking control of this Onaga, but Cham hasn't moved out. He hasn't really seen much at all across the map. He doesn't know how greedy Maru has been. Infestation bit is on the way. This tells us that Cham actually is intending to drone up a little bit further. He is going for more than just Roach Rav and more than just 3-base saturation. With the infestation bit, he gains access to a hive, to infestors. And here comes a drop play, and Cham, he just wanted the gold! Oh my god, there's so much damage to the base! And Maru will get a kill on the hatchery! Ay, ay, ay. Something that should not have happened, and you know what? He got one, he wants a second one as well, and can he force a cancel? Up! He will force a cancel on the second hatchery as well. Here comes another drop on the right-hand side, going for the queens this time. He will get one queen, getting into the mineral line as well, getting a second queen alongside them, and even some drones. Good target firing here out of Maru. 2 queens, 2 workers, 2 bases. And we're not stopping. We're not slowing down. Again, Cham, his Roach Ravager army is just so immobile. Now he has some more Ling Bane, so he can try to keep up a little bit better here, but he's being pulled apart. That's 9 workers going down. Hive is on the way. Finally, we do catch the army. Maru, he wasn't looking. He wasn't looking, and he does take some banelings to the face. So Cham, he's able to fight back, but still that pales in comparison to the amount of workers he just lost. 14 drones in total. 14 drones and 2 hatcheries. Ay, ay, ay. So we have Maru. He's still being active here with his drop towards the north. And again, throughout all of this, because Maru has had the better economy, he is snowballing out of control. He is up in army supply. Something that should not be happening. Bearing in mind that Cham's supply is inflated as well because of the Roach Ravager. And we're pushing on forward. Bailings, they crash into tanks of all things. They take down 1 tank, but the army can stim on forward and take down everything else. Cham, he's trying to hold on to that gold base, but we have control of the high ground. We can lay siege upon those mineral patches. Drones are going down. And now we can push it towards the third base itself. And Cham, he just doesn't have the numbers. Not anymore. That drop is still alive from the early game. That's the original 2-on-1 drop. That's crazy. Oh my god. 11, 12, 14 drones going down. The base itself will fall, and it looks like Cham has been broken. GG gets called. Maru will take... Oh my god. Maru will take game number 1. GG, well played. Again, just a solid game there out of Maru. Being a little bit cheeky as well. Remember, he was able to sneak out and get the gold as his third, which was wild. And Cham didn't get eyes on it. He didn't know how greedy his opponent was being. He couldn't really punish his opponent as a result. He didn't know that he could punish Maru, as he was just preoccupied, keeping up with the drop play instead, trying to get into his own build, into his own economy. What I will also say is that it did feel like Cham, he was investing a little bit too heavily into his army, less so drone-wise, which meant that he was just falling behind as the game went longer, because instead of droning, he was making workers, and he delayed his drone production, essentially. Delayed his fourth base, delayed the gold, and yeah, just could not keep up. But we'll see how things differ here on Cham's terms, as we're getting to Site Delta for Game 2. Meanwhile, shout out to Maru, because because of his performances recently, he has been actually improving his ELO. Can we reach 1,000? Can he supersede Serral? Originally, a couple of weeks ago, Serral, he was the highest rated player in WTL, but Maru has been catching up. And has Maru overtaken him? We're gonna have to keep an eye on that. Once we get to cast Team Basilisk in a couple of days, we will keep an eye on what Serral's ELO is and what position he's in. What are we casting Basilisk? Basilisk is the final day, Sunday. As we're getting into this, and we have Maru for onside in top left, and we have Cham in the bottom right for Starlight Twinkle. Sorry, I was tabbed out. I was looking at the... I was looking to say when Basilisk was playing. But here we go. Getting into game 2. Of course, this is Cham's map of choice, Side Delta, an interesting one. On the one hand, it can be a little bit more defendable on 2 bases because of the ramp. This is, I think, the only map. I think this is the only map in the current map pool that has a ramp coming into the natural. Other than Radisson Station doesn't count. And it doesn't count, don't worry about it. Outside of Radisson Station, I think this is the only map that has a ramp coming into the natural. So again, it's a little bit more defensible overall on 2 bases. What I will say, though, is that a lot of the bases here are spread out, especially when we get into the mid-game, late game. The northern and southern bases are just so far apart, and you can pull apart your opponent. This goes both ways. But I wonder what the opener of Cham's going to be as he goes for a hatch pool gas. Interesting. Meanwhile, Maru going for the same build. He's going for a 2-racks on the low ground. Initially, I shouldn't say same build. He's going with the same opener. 2 games in a row. But winding it back on Equilibrium, if you remember, Maru, he did delay his reactor in his tech lab, and he got a faster 3rd CC. Faster factory and a faster 3rd CC. It was 3 CC, 2-on-1. We'll see how Maru adjusts here on Side Delta. We'll see if he goes economic again, or if he's going for a more aggressive variation. As for now, we're getting that CC on the low ground. So it is not going to be 3 racks Reaper, just 2 racks. Winding it back as well, in game 1, he went up to 4 Reapers. Here, he should only make 3. Typically, a 4th is ill-advised. You don't need it. It does delay your add-ons. Does slow you down. So we go. The first Reaper does make it across the map. He's going to be applying pressure here to Cham. Shouldn't get anything done, though. Maybe getting a Ling. The Lings are taking a lot of hits, but the Queen is on the way. The Reaper is fended off. We have a 2nd Reaper coming out. A 3rd Reaper on the way as well. And once again, that's a 4th Reaper in production for Maru. So, I mean, there's a reason for it now. As Cham is taking that 3rd base, and the goal here from Maru, as he makes a 4th Reaper, is to deny this 3rd. To cancel it. I said before at the beginning of game 1, the goal of this opener from Terrans is to contain on 2 bases for as long as possible. Contain the Zerg player on 2 bases, and if they try to take a 3rd base like this, then you can make some additional Reapers and you can force a cancel. And that's exactly what should be happening here. So Cham, he was trying to be a little bit greedy by sneaking out this 3rd, and he will not get away with it. Meanwhile, Cham once again going for a very fast lair. So far unscouted, but Maru should soon be checking. As he rotates towards the natural, Queens do force him back. He's going to be checking the other 3rd base location. Does confirm no other 3rd has been taken, and now we should be going for the main. Meanwhile, behind this, we do have Factory into Starport, and we do have that 3rd CC before Starport even as well. So very economic follow-up here out of Maru. He is denied entry into the main. He tries, but he is forced back. So he doesn't know what's going on. Additional gases are being taken, and it is going to be 2 base, not roaches, 2 base Muta. Crazy. Bold move here out of Cham. To be fair, this time he has successfully kept this hidden. He has kept the lair hidden. Of course, Maru knows about the 2 base play. No, he busts in! The Queens are out of position. The Lings go down, and we do get into the main base. We see the fast lair. We go for the Queen! We lose the Reaper, but up! We do get the Queen. And we want more than that. We get a drone. We get 2 workers as well. We spot the Spire. Everything has been scouted. And we even get some extra damage done. Ay, ay, ay. Initially, this was a good start for Cham. He did everything right. He kept his build hidden. He denied the Reapers. Sure, his 3rd was cancelled, but he was going to cancel it anyway. It was 2 base play nonetheless. But this is too much. 6 drones. 6 drones, a Queen, and we scat everything. And we denied the 3rd base. So Maru is going to be miles ahead at this point, and he is going for a kill move with this 2-1-1. He did not go for the add-on swap with the Starport. He has reactored out Hellions, and he's reactoring out Widow Mines. We have an Armory on the way. This is going to be a Hellbat push. Now, this isn't all in. We do have a 3rd CC already done. It's already an orbital, so Maru, he's already going to be working on a 3rd base, but this push is still going to be devastating, and without Banelings, without Roaches, with a dead Queen, I don't think that Cham... It's going to be a tough hold. It's going to be a very tough hold here for Cham, with only Lings and a minimal amount of Queens. Mutas are coming out, but Mutas, they can't engage with these Stim Marines. Or these Stim Marines. There we go. There's the first Stim. We dive into the natural base. We're looking to dive on top of the Queen as well. We are banking up our Mutas and Lings. We have to bide our time. We cannot engage, not prematurely. The mines are settling. And maybe we can force some friendly fire? Never mind. Natural base goes down. Mine shots go off on the Mutas. And now we can focus them down one after the other. This is a bit of an awkward zoom, but regardless, we focus on everything. GG gets called, and Maru will take game number 2 and close out the series. GG, well played. Ooh, Maru able to scout his opponent, identify what Cham was up to, and punish it with a reactive Hellbat push with a couple of Widow Mines as well, softening up those Mutas. Very well done. A solid result here out of onside. GG, well played. And a shout out to Star Twinkle as well. Again, they did put up a fight. They did put up a fight. They did fight back hard here. And again, I'm still winding it back. You know, there was a lot of potential in game 1 versus Wayne and Ryung, for example. And even Nice against Solar. There was a lot of fancy moves coming out from Nice as well when it came to his builds. Here, Cham, unfortunately, could not pull a fast one on Maru. Maru was just on top of everything. GG, well played. We're going to be going on a short break. Enjoy the SC Boy casters. This is F91 on the right and Xiaoxe on the left. They are eating spicy beef. I don't... Why are they eating spicy food? I don't know. It's content, Bobby. It's content. So enjoy. We're going to be going on a short break. When we return, we will have our next series. We will have, I believe, Maturino Esports versus Psystorm Gaming. See you then.
这个不辣，油的味道很纯正。睡，麻辣吗？我靠！
大的兄弟千万要忍住啊，不要挑战自己。
反正整体来说，我很久没有吃到这么纯正的四川的麻辣的味道，这个东西又麻又辣。好，我们接下来看我们的第二个产品，第二个产品叫多肉一把骨，这个看起来有点夸张啊。这怎么吃啊？直接手呀！
妈了个鸡！
对不对？寝室里面如果两兄弟买了，一人一根，拿着就啃，这个是不是也有点太夸张了？这个不辣，肉很多，你干嘛不辣呀？咬呀，兄弟！你就咬了一点点，你看我这个真不辣，这个五香的。哎呀，你就咬一口，你信我，这里没有肉，你要咬这里面全是肉。你看，兄弟来看，这里面全是肉，一块一块的，你多咬点呀，咬一大块呀。
不，我感觉刚才那个吃有点伤，我感觉这个有点辣。
这个真不辣，但是这个的肉呢，比这个牛骨头要稍微多一点啊。牛骨头的肉没有这个那么扎实，这个一口下去，那个感觉就是满足，真的好吃。我觉得今天晚上我都不用吃饭了。这肉也太多了。
真的，我总结一下，这个如果让我
And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that break. Hope you enjoyed that spicy meat challenge. Question mark. As we have wrapped up the Onside Gaming versus Starlight Twinkle matchup, and now we are here with Matcherino Esports versus Storm Gaming. Ooh, a matchup that should be much more competitive here, and I don't even know how I want to call this actually, because we have quite an interesting matchup here. We have Estrella versus Spirit, followed by Aragfire versus Geralt, and Nightmare versus MaxPax. Oh my god, the PV matchups continue, and here we go in the top right-hand corner. We have Spirit for Storm Gaming. In the bottom left, we had Estrella for Matcherino. Just dove right in. I was caught off guard, Pappy. Caught off guard. I was actually looking at the other matchups, but yeah, we do have quite a number of PV matchups here for you, of course. Very Protestant Terran heavy lineups between both Matcherino and Storm. And we'll see which direction this goes in. I believe predictions are open in the chat, so place your bets on how you think this best of two will go. A 1-1 or a 2-0 in either direction. Best of luck. As, of course, Estrella has been on fire recently. We did, of course, cast KSL yesterday, or the day before, yesterday, I think. And we actually saw and covered Estrella defeat Björn in a pretty convincing fashion as well. Estrella has been popping off. And a big reason for this is because of ESL Masters Winter. With the new season around the corner, we have seen Estrella and a lot of players actually peak in skill and look damn good. But, you know, hey, if you can take down Björn, can you take down Spirit? I mean, they're very different players. Very different play styles. Björn is a very aggressive player, very in-your-face. Spirit, a little bit more mellow, a little bit more defensive and macro-oriented in nature. We'll see if Spirit can keep up with Estrella and even overcome, surpass him. As Spirit, of course, is one of the best Terrans in Europe. And here we go. We do have a rack expand. Very economic opener here out of Spirit. Very economic behind this. We're not getting into any additional Raxes either. It's going to be a Rax into factory here from Spirit. So everything is looking by the book, everything looking normal. You can see that Australia, he's trying to be as annoying as possible. He's trying to chip away at that building SCV, but he won't quite get it. He won't quite be able to get on top of it. Not yet. Just, again, being annoying. As you can see here, he's just tasing away at that SCV whenever he can. The Adept is also going to be making its way across the map. We have our tech of choice, and Australia is going to be going for an Adept. Sorry, going for a Stargate opener, not a Twilight Council. Stargate on the way, should be for Phoenixes as the probe finally does go down, finally is chased away and shut down by Spirit. It did not get information of the build, did not get into the main, didn't see the factory or the starport. Adept shades in and does get eyes on the factory. So just like that, we at least know it's not going to be a 2-on-1 variation or a 3 racks, for example, which is more common and more popular than a 2-on-1, I mean. So we're able to at least confirm that. The Adepts do make it back home as well. And we are going to be getting ready for what comes next. It looks like we are setting up for a mine drop. Now, we'll see if it's going to be a mine drop or if we go into a marine mine drop instead. There are different variations that we can go for, some more potent than others. As, oh my god, we're committing quite hard here to those mines. We have a third mine on the way, potentially a fourth mine by the time the medevac does arrive. Back at home, Australia, of course, banking up his Phoenixes, immediately going into a Twilight Council. So this is not going to be Phoenix Colossus, something that we're more accustomed to, something that we're more used to here is, yeah, not what Australia is going for, as he's going to be going for more, I imagine, Phoenix Charged Lot Heavy composition instead. Also, sorry, I'm dying. Oh god, dying puppy. All right. As the mine drop is going to be threatening the main base, Phoenixes are in position, going to be able to zone it away for the time being. We do have another mine threatening to waddle into the main. Oh my god, the medevac does go down, and the wind mines, they do not burrow at all, not in time, and they will be shut down as well. Spirit's a bit asleep at the wheel there. Unable to keep up with Australia, does end up losing 2 of those mines. I believe there's a third mine somewhere out on the map, but yeah, really clean up out of Australia. He did get the third mine. Uh-oh. Yeah, all 3 wind mines did go down. Now we can go across the map. We can shut down some of these marines. There is no stim, so we can just bully them. Oh my god. That's 3 widow mines, a couple of marines, no scouting information from Spirit, which is a little bit devastating, to be honest. It means that Spirit, he actually doesn't know that there's no Colossus. He doesn't know that it's going to be a charge lot composition instead. He doesn't know. He is not aware. Behind this, of course, Australia, he's just getting his third base up and running, fully operational. One of the Phoenixes takes a lot of hits, but Australia able to pull back, keep it alive for the time being. And yeah, Spirit for now, he's contained. He's contained to 2 bases. He's in the dark. He doesn't know what exactly is going on. And he can't know, not yet, not unless he invests into a scan. Third CC is thrown down. Again, Spirit, we've spoken about him before, and this is what I kind of alluded to. He's not really one to go for big 2-base all-ins and pull the boys. No, he typically goes towards the mid-game. Third CC is thrown down. It is quite far behind, protected from the Phoenixes, and also hidden from the Phoenixes as well. As they go in, they take down, they shut down the Cyclone. They're looking to get a second Cyclone as well. The Clean Feed is struggling a little bit. Really just impressed by how much damage these Phoenixes have done. And yeah, with that, they don't quite get the Viking, but we're getting a bit of a slideshow here. No, it looks like actually it's in-game. Oh, no! No! Now we understand, as it looks like one of the in-game observers is lagging out. A really rough moment to actually have some latency as well. And oh yeah, hopefully everything does clean up. Hopefully they're able to sort things out. So the big thing here is hopefully that the latency didn't actually affect the game there and didn't affect the reason why Spirit actually lost the Cyclone. If that is the case, then we may actually end up remaking. If not, then we may just sort out the latency issues and then dive back into this. But yeah, the clean feed has been a little bit shaky here tonight. We saw it like drop once in the last series, and here again just a little bit of latency issues. A big reason for this, just for some context, I'm sure you should be fully aware of this, is when it comes to the clean feed and the Chinese feed as well, because of course this is held by SC Boy, they're based in China, is that they do actually funnel it all through a VPN. They actually have to use a VPN as well to connect to the America server and to connect to the Korean server as well. So because of that, sometimes connections can be unstable, you know, not the most reliable. These things do happen, but here we go, we're diving back in. We're getting back into the game, and already the Phoenixes, they managed to get a couple extra units. Zelt's going to be coming in as well, closing the distance here, getting on top of the army. Doesn't quite break through, though, and Spirit, he will hold. I'm just catching up. Okay, Spirit, he will hold on. I mean, again, arguably Estrella overextending there for a minute, but he is up heavily in economies on 3-base saturation. Again, he has his Phoenixes. Has his Zealots as well. And we're able to pick off a couple more SCVs, just slowing Spirit down. And the problem is that Estrella is really under no threat of any kind of big all-in. Again, Spirit, he did throw down a third TC. He's looking to get further in this game. And he's just losing a lot of steam, a lot of momentum. Behind this, Estrella even taking the forward fourth. A very exposed fourth base, but this just goes to show how confident Estrella feels. The confidence is insane. As, I mean, it's warranted, to be fair. It is a little bit warranted at this point. As Estrella has map control, you know, he's been able to pick apart and reset the Widow Mine counts over and over again. We have another massive wall of Zelts moving out. Third base has been spotted. And it's taking a couple of hits. Not too much, though. But again, Spirit, he has to take a more defensive position to actually hold on to it. Aye. Meanwhile, we have a Ghost Academy on the way for the eventual Ghosts. And Estrella now going to be refining his army. It isn't just Phoenix Charger anymore, but he has a second robot on the way. Rolex Bay, Colossus as well. But does he even need them? Because we're just going to dive into the third. The SimCity, the positioning here working against Estrella. The choke point is brutal, but regardless, he's trying to break on through. Not the best trade from Estrella at all. Ay. Estrella overextending quite heavily here. Again, that was 23 Zealots going down for only a handful of Marines and a handful of Marauders. Really well done by Spirit. Really good positioning. And Estrella maybe just forcing the issue a little bit too much. Again, trying to break the third without splash damage, without Storm or Colossus or Disruptors or Archons. There we go. 2 Colossi being made at a time. And that was a rough fight and a rough trade for Estrella, but again, he has an insane economy. He can afford it. He can rebuild, he can replace. As he's going to back on off. We do have a Mind Drop moving out. The Mind Drop will give Spirit a little bit more information as to what bases have been taken and just how far ahead Estrella is economically. But even if that's seen, I don't know if Spirit can do much about it. As the army moves out, it creates an opening for these Phoenixes. You're able to threaten the dive. Mind Drop does spot the fourth. Oh, do we have a reaction? We do. We do have a reaction. No! Oh my god, the Mind Drag. 8 workers go down. Ay. A juicy connection there from Spirit. The beginning of the comeback, just like that. Spirit, he catches up. He's on 66 workers compared to the 67 of Estrella. Widow Mines are going to reset. Meanwhile, Estrella going to be pushing on forward. Again, he's not as far ahead as he once was. There was a time where he was up 20, 30 supply. Now, not anymore. As he can resume mining here at the 4th base. Big EMPs here on the Colossus. As Spirit pushes through. Again, this bridge, this choke point, it's going to be difficult to push into. From either player, to be fair. As Spirit is getting his 4th base up and running, Estrella taking the other center base as his 5th. A really greedy maneuver, but again, the reality is that any kind of advantage that Estrella once had isn't there anymore. I do think a lot of this does come down to the bad fight that he had earlier, and also, of course, the mine harass. Yeah, he has been hurting. And here we go, Spirit behind this is getting into the 2nd starport, +1 ship weapons. He's working towards Liberators. And even the Marauders actually being able to lay siege upon this base from the high ground. Colossus is going to be forcing it back for a moment, but we have additional Vikings on the way. Widowmines are set up as well, and yeah, Spirit, he's come back. He's making a game out of this. Oh, even denying more mining time. 12 probes going down. Oh my god. This Marauder's just going ham. Getting even more done. Finally, the Marauder does fall. Eventually. And Estrella is the first to max out. He's got 3 Colossi. He's got Disruptors on the way. Going to try to trade with those Vikings as he does threaten this CC. Turrets, they should not finish. Maybe one of them will. But the Stalkers, they do get on top of it. It's going to be a kill, not a cancel. And Estrella, he's pushing on forward here into this army. And he may not break the army, but he can get on top of that mineral line. Oh, he's trying to, but the bunker stands strong. And Estrella's forced back. Oh my god. Going to be dropping one of those Colossi. Disruptors are on the way, and again, Estrella is having a really hard time pushing in. Didn't even get into the mineral line. It barely killed any SCVs. That push was not worth it, and now Spirit, he's getting ahead economically. He's up to 71 workers. Now, even though Estrella, he has less workers, he has a comparable army because he has the gold bases. The half gold bases. So he does get a little bit more out of them, especially if he does prioritize the gold mineral patches, which he should. Phoenix's dive in. Oh, they do get a medevac. Did have some units within it. At the same time, Estrella pushing on in from the right-hand side. Show us the Novas. They're just going to be zoning back the army. Additional Novas going off. This time connecting, shaving off some of those Marauders. Not bad. 10 SCVs. Much better engagement. Much better trade here from Estrella. Gets 10 workers. Shaves off some of the units. The Ghost gets some decent EMPs. Oh my god, the mine. Mine going off as well in the army. But Estrella is able to rotate back in time, in position. He's looking to force back Spirit. Catches the medevacs, catching a lot of medevacs actually, and now the Ghost. Oh my god. This feels like a really awkward here for both players. Spirit though, with the high ground, it does get one of those Disruptors. Oh, barely doesn't. As Estrella's taking a 6th base. Oh my god, sometimes all it takes is one Liberator, and yeah, so much less mining time. Just needs as a massive Zelarame gets into the 3rd. A lot of SVs, most SVs going down as we bust into the natural as well, and now Spirit, he's all in. He has to commit, he has to push up this ramp, but it's a Novus, no! Oh, he's not looking! He's not looking, Puppy takes a massive Nova to the face, and that's going to be the end of the army. Spirit is forced back, and he loses 27 SCVs across the map. One wrong move as he pushed out. The Zealot run by crippled the economy, and he runs into Disruptors, into Novas. And you can see Spirit plummets in supply. And now Estrella, he's going to get a full surround of Spirit. He now comes across the base. Didn't even know it was here. As he barely does avoid the surround, but he's bled out so many ghosts. One Stalker survives, and even then it's going to be chased down. And Estrella, he's snowballing out of control. Again, Estrella, his PvT has been on point recently, and you could definitely argue there was some moments here where he overextended and, you know, maybe had to calm down at least a little bit, but he was able to maintain himself, able to stay ahead as well. Nova goes off, connects with the Marauders. GG gets called, and Estrella will take game number 1. GG. Solid game there out of Estrella. Meanwhile, Spirit, a big shout to Spirit because he was able to weather the storm despite falling behind early on, despite having his initial mine drop shut down, despite losing so many Marines, being contained to 2 bases for so long as well, and being harassed at his third. He was able to fortify himself and eventually keep up with Estrella, max out himself, and have a more competitive back and forth. Of course, it did lead into what occurred at the end there, where he just happened to be moving out and happened to expose himself as a result, and things escalated very quickly out of control, and Estrella was able to capitalize on that. But despite that, still close back and forth, and I'm hoping that we can get a back and forth here as Spirit is going to be choosing that second map, choosing that second game. Here we go. We'll see where Spirit wants to take us. Whether a more aggressive map like Hard-Led, for example, or a more passive map even. We can go to the extremes like Radisson Station, or even a map like Golden Aura, and not quite Golden Aura, but along similar lines, a similar vein even. It's going to be Oceanborn. We're going under the sea. Let's go. Also, I just realized, is this a new room for Estrella? It's not a new room, but like I feel like is he back in the States? I remember he was in a different room like maybe 4 weeks ago. I know last week he was in this room, but you know what this looks like? If you've been here, and we're gonna see some Geralt later on. Geralt is no longer in his attic. He's no longer in his room. Like we see a different background, a different setup. And maybe he was kicked out. Maybe maybe Estrella kicked him out because, mate, that looks like another attic room. Just saying. And here we go in the bottom right-hand corner for Sidestorm Gaming. It is Spirit. And in the top left for Maturino, we have Estrella. I was caught off guard because we didn't get there we go. I was about to say we didn't get to see Spirit's face. We didn't get it. Smooch. But yeah. The narrative, it's all coming together. Really, Maturino Esports versus Sidestorm Gaming. It's not about the games. It's not about, what is really on the line here. It's whether or not we can get Geralt back into his bedroom. I not like this. Smooch. New basement more like? Are you sure? I'm pretty sure that's because of the curvature of the roof. Like that's like an attic or like closer to top level, right? Question mark. Is he still in Korea or back in the US already? Yeah, I'm uncertain. I think he's back in the US. It would make sense because I know, for example, Future's back in the US, but like a big reason to go back to the United States at the moment is because of DreamHack Atlanta. Because a lot of these players are going to be traveling to DreamHack Atlanta anyway. So now would be a good time to go back just to like acclimate yourself and to settle back into like that time zone and not really have jet lag affect you too much. But yeah, I'm uncertain as to whether Estrella is. What I do know again is that we do have a different background for Estrella. That's why I pointed it out. Background is different to what we saw. I want to say 3 weeks ago, but we'll see. Everyone check out the attics. Oh, Estrella, he's here. Not like this. For now, though, we're getting into our openers, and again, a very standard opener out of Estrella. We have seen a rise in popularity in sentry-based openers. Reason for this, again, the point damage was adjusted, which means that you can actually kite a lot better, a lot cleaner with the sentry. And on top of that, we, of course, do gain access to the hallucination really early on as well. So you can actually keep up with the Reaper, you can micro against it, and get that follow-up scout as well. Here we go. As we have our tech of choice, once again, 2 games in a row. Stargate opener out of Estrella. Oh, and a big shout out to C Grail in the chat. Thank you so much for subscribing to Twitch Prime for 10 months. Oh my god. Thank you so much, Piper. Thanks so much. We appreciate the support, Seagray. We appreciate it. Also, I was meant to give a shout out earlier as well because there was a new subscriber earlier. So thank you. It did slip my mind, but we appreciate it. We appreciate it. Kira, can you remind me of the name? As for now, Hallucination comes in, does get eyes on the opener as well. That is going to be a hidden second Rex at the natural base. Oh my. It's going to be a hidden... Oh, there we go. As we have additional Raxes on the way as well. It is going to be a 3-1-1 setup here from Spirit. And Astray, he's going for the same thing, actually. He's going for a Stargate opener into a Twilight Council, into, I imagine, Charge. Also, that's my mistake. It wasn't a hidden Rax at the natural. It was a hidden CC at the natural. And that makes more sense. I was like, why is he hiding the 3-1-1? Like, what's going on here? Oh, he's hiding the CC. This is a very greedy opener. This is the third CC before that second and third Rax, by the way. So very greedy here out of Spirit. We'll see if he can get away with it. We'll see if Estrella can get eyes on this as well, because this is wild. This is typically not something that you can actually get away with in this matchup. As Oracle does get into the main base, 3 SCVs do go down, but only 3 workers. Meanwhile, it is not Charge. We're actually going to be switching gears entirely into Blink instead. So Stargate opener into Blink is not something you see too often, but you do appreciate it. The reason why you don't see it too often is because Phoenixes and Blink Stalkers, they actually serve the same role. And I must have missed seeing things, or maybe I saw the hallucination and my brain just assumed it was real. But usually you don't go for both, you go one or the other. As we can see, the Stargate was mainly used for Oracles, which is why we're hard switching into Blink Stalkers instead. And the hallucination does get eyes on the third CC. Has been spotted, has been revealed. We get eyes on the production as well. And Estrella has to push out. He has to move out. He has to try to deny and try and delay this third base for as long as he can. Cannot allow Spirit to get away with his economy. And there we go. There's the Stasis Trap. Blink isn't even done, but the Stalkers, they have arrived, and they need to be here. They need to punish this. And they're getting a lot of damage done. Again, they're just going to be forcing this to be floated back to the natural base. It's taking a lot of damage, actually. Oh my god, catching fire. We do pull the boys. We will be able to top this up and keep the repairs on. Meanwhile, Stim just now finished, so now Spirit can actually fight toe-to-toe with this army. No tanks, unfortunately, just mainly a Marine Marauder army instead. And a big shout to Steelbolt as well, subscribing 59 months. Oh my god. So many months. But it's been a while, Papi. It's been a while. It's been a journey, Steelmold. A journey. Many, many years. Many years. Thank you. Thank you. Always, Papi. Always. Hope you're taking care. Hope you're taking care. As we do have the CC floating back towards the third base. Oh my god, Estrella being a little bit adventurous there. He does snipe the medevac, does one-shot it. A medevac for a Stalker, pretty good trade. Pretty good trade. As we're able to pick up a couple of extra units here. Falling back. I remember when this channel was all memes with and no emotes. Aye. Those are dark times, Steel. Those are aye. Dark times. But memorable as well. Very memorable. As for now, we do have Spirit pushing on the right-hand side. Again, he's just breaking free from his shackles. Third base getting up and running, fully operational. As he moves out, though, he's going to be pushing into a Colossus. As the first Colossus has arrived, we have a second robot on the way for double Colossus production. Estrella actually going to be sneaking into a Dark Shrine as well. Dark Shrine on the way, so taking up quite heavily here as Spirit moves out. Zealot Runby moves in. We have Zealot here at the natural base, a massive warp in into the main. Spirit caught out of position. His entire army is racing back home. And he may not lose too many SCVs. That's actually 7 SCVs going down, but we get on top of the production. We're getting on top of every single one of these add-ons as well. That's a Tech Lab, a Reactor, a second Tech Lab going down. We may get a second Reactor as well. good damage is done, and the Prism will escape. As we try to pick up another SCV. We get one. It should only be one more, though. Yeah. Two. Oh my god, as we barely get a second SCV as well. Behind this, Astrea, he's able to safely get a fourth base up and running, getting into his double Colossus production as well. And Spirit is finally able to push out for a second time. Remember, he was forced to turn back around earlier. Oh my god, the force field! The force fields completely slice up his army. The Colossi going ham. And Spirit, he cannot turn around. Not anymore. We gotta commit. We are pushing on the right-hand side, looking to deny the fourth base. We should force a cancel. We do contain Astrea here to 3 bases. That's something. At the same time, Mind Drop into the natural. Astrea, he does notice. Oh my god. I was worried we were going to drag the Mind Shot again. We do pull back at the same time as we're dealing with the Mind Drop. Zealots into the main base. DTs as well. A couple of Dark Templar are mixed in. Towards the natural, towards the main base. Sure, Astrea, he may be taking some damage, but at the same time, so is Spirit. As he's just now getting his add-ons back up and running, and they're going to go down again. A Doom drop into the main base, but the army is waiting for him. Ay, ay, ay. 20 probes are going down. But Spirit is also losing his army. Bear that in mind. His army is also following. You can see Spirit plummet in supply. Ghost Academy is burning. Additional 34 SCVs went down. We go for another big warp in into the third base as well. We're not done. Nowhere near. As Astrea, he is just settling back at home. Stabilizing even. Still on 50 workers. Meanwhile, Spirit down sub 40. As more SCVs are going down. We could even go for that Ghost Academy. It's still so close to burning down. Hopefully Spirit does repair. Hopefully he does keep it alive. Fingers crossed, as another Mind Shot's going to go off. Up! Oof. Getting one more probe. I'm trying to keep an eye on the minimap to see if, oh my god, the mines, they're doing so much! Ah! I think the Ghost Academy was saved. I think? Or it's still on fire. I want to believe it's okay. As we're now getting into Disruptors. 3 Colossi are already out. Widowmine's finally cleaned up as well. As Spirit is also stabilizing, has a comparable economy to his opponent. Sure, he may be down in SCVs, but he makes up for that with mules. And this is still anyone's game. If it wasn't for those Widowmines, if it wasn't for the drop play, then Spirit would be just hurting so much. Instead, both players are. I want to give the edge to Astrea, though, just because of his Disruptors. Like, Purification Novas, they pose a massive threat here to Spirit. As the DT is hiding in the tall grass. Here we go. We're going to be pushing through the center. Spirit waiting for the army. At the same time, Zealot Rambai is coming in. We do have a mine. Mine Shot does go off. Bunker is in position. The Zealots, they ignore. They go straight for the natural instead. And the natural is so exposed. Ay, ay, ay. We go straight for the SCVs. Spirit, he turns his entire army back around once again. Losing 6 SCVs. And now we're going to do you one better. Astrea coming with a DT run by instead. Dark Templar are moving out. Double drop as well on the left-hand side. Spirit, he's had enough defending. He wants to be the aggressor. Is spotted by his opponent. Oh my god, Disruptor Shot does go off. Spirit, though, gaining ground. Forcing Astrea back. Here comes that double drop here on the left-hand side. Going straight for the natural. Late reaction out of Astrea. Nothing is in position. He had time to warp in and he didn't. Yeah, Robo is going to be depowered. We could even go for the Robo itself. Cannons are falling. Astrea, he still maintains his army on the right-hand side. But he's going to be forced to cancel. At the same time, though, a DT counterattack here at the third. The picture-in-picture. Nerva's going to be going off. They take down one of the ghosts, but it looks like Astrea, he cannot push in. He will lose this base. Where are the Stalkers? The Stalkers finally do arrive. One Colossus goes down, but the Nexus falls. That is 2 Nexus going down for Estrella. The Disruptors, no. And Spirit, he's pulling Estrella apart. That's a kill, not a cancel. Successfully just pulling him apart left and right. Estrella cannot keep up, not anymore. He did amazingly harassing across the map, but in these big engagements, he has been struggling. And another Nexus. The third base is going to fall as well. Ay, ay, ay. Estrella knocked down to 2 bases. He was doing so well, but he just couldn't keep up. And Spirit is fighting back. It's DT counterattack coming in. Going to try and force out a scan. There is potential with these Dark Templar, but there's that scan spent. Ghosts are ready for EMPs as well. And can Estrella come back? He can, if he connects with these Novas. If these Purification Novas are perfect, then we can take a fight. And here we go. Up! Oh, overshooting. Good target firing out of Spirit. He focuses down every single Disruptor. One connection goes off, but one connection is not good enough as the entire army crumbles, and that is going to be it. Estrella shaking his head on cams. He knows that, alas, he was in a leading position. He was looking so good in this game, but it slipped through his fingers. Good target firing out of Spirit, and he has brought himself back into this. And now, what is there left for Estrella? He's got 4 sentries, 7 Stalkers, 1 Dark Templar. And Spirit, he picks up his main. He's going to be landing it as his 4th. A 4th that Estrella no longer has. As Estrella, he's falling further and further behind economically and in the army as a result. Spirit, he's getting out of control. It's just becoming too much, and yeah, Estrella, he just can't afford anything. That's the issue right now. He just cannot afford. He's making 2 Colossi at the moment. That's something. But he's just so far down in supply. It is going to be an uphill battle, and there's maybe a chance that if he's able to fight Spirits with only a handful of units, or if Spirit starts going for drop play, then maybe he can deal with 1 drop at a time. Estrella, he doesn't have eyes on the 4th. Doesn't see that it was taken. It's barely out of range. And here we go. Spirit is pushing. Scan does get eyes on the Stalkers. Good EMP. Now, with these sentries, we can force field the ramp. We can try and cut the army in half. That will make things more manageable. Of course, Spirit, I'm sure he's aware of that, so he's being careful with his movements. Doesn't want to get caught out. Force fields are thrown down. Big EMPs here on the army, and we can just dive on top of it. We get on top of 1 Colossus and the 2nd as well, and there is, again, nothing remaining here. GG gets called, and Spirit... with a bit of a smirk. He's showing emotion, Poppy, emotion. We're getting there. GG, Spirit will tie it up 1-1. GG. Let's go. Spirit, notoriously known for not really showing much emotion here in WTL. Whenever he wins, he's just like stone-faced and he just turns off the camera. But here, you know, he felt good. Feels good, man. Feels good. The robot, he's learning how to feel. GG. GG, well played. Spirit does tie it up, and we have a series. We have a back and forth. We have a back and forth here, and again, we didn't start with Aragfire versus Geralt, just because I believe they may be a little bit preoccupied. I'm not too sure if ESL Europe has started. It's possible. It looks like it has. It looks like the European regionals have begun. As a result, that may be why we postponed. Just double checking here. And otherwise, maybe our players just weren't available, but hopefully they will become available throughout the course of the night. And if we have to, we can dive into Nightmare versus Max Packs first. We'll see. We'll see. As we're going to be going on a short break, we're going to be looking for our players. And when we return, we'll have our next best of 2. See you soon. And welcome back. Welcome back. Was a bit of a shorter break there, and we have found our players. Again, it looks like we are postponing Fire versus Geralt. Hopefully, we are able to play that series out. If we aren't able to find our players, there may be a walkover in one direction or the other. But for now, we have this matchup here before us. It is going to be Nightmare versus MaxFax in a PvP, starting off on Equilibrium. Let's go in. I'm ready for it. I'm excited for it. We have casted Nightmare vs. MaxFax many times here on this channel, and usually Nightmare is the aggressor and MaxFax is the defender. We haven't casted them in this new map pool, though. The new map pool will change things, and I'm curious how well MaxFax can defend on some of these newer maps. Remember, there's only one map, or I guess this Radisson Station and Site Delta, which do have those ramps leading into the natural, which means MaxFax is going to be exposed. And Nightmare has options. He doesn't have to go all in. I want to see him go for the hero response, where MaxFax goes for an economic opener. You fake out an all in and you go for the gold. But here we go. Top left, we have a Nightmare for Maturino. And in the top right, we have MaxFax for Psystorm. Oh, he's excited. You can see it on his face, Papi. He's getting pumped. Let's go. I'm excited as well. We rarely get to see that kind of emotion out of MaxFax. Almost on that level of spirit. But for now, MaxFax shouldn't be too much of a surprise. He's going for the gate expand on the low ground. Now to bring it to the, just kind of talk about this a little bit. I'm sure most people that are watching are aware. This is considered to be a very greedy opener here. Very unsafe, just because you don't have the added advantage of having a point of elevation to defend. You don't have high ground. You don't have high ground like you would on some of these other maps. So it is a consensus amongst most, if not all, pro gamers that you go for 2 gate openers on a map like this, which is what Nightmare is doing. 2 gate opener, it's safe, it's secure, it's legal. What MaxFax is doing is illegal. It's and usually he's goading his opponent into an all-in. Like, mate, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna stop me, or are you just gonna be behind? Are you just gonna be behind economically? Are you? What are you gonna do about it? And then we all in. Then Nightmare all ins, and then MaxFax defends, and that's PvP in a nutshell. We'll see what Nightmare goes for. Now, what we have seen in the past, and why I say like the hero response, because I've seen mainly Hero do it and a couple of other players every now and then, but it was on Royal Blood last season. Royal Blood, Hero versus MaxFax. Multiple times we would see Hero fake out an all-in or open up aggressively and then follow it up by going for the goal bases as his natural and his third base as well. And that is something that you can do on Equilibrium as well. It does have, of course, certain similarities to Royal Blood, that being the goal bases. So that is an approach you can take. For now, though, an approach that Nightmare isn't taking, as we have a Stargate opener out of MaxFax. Should be a Stargate, then into expansion. The reason for this is you can make an Oracle or even a defensive Void Ray in case you're being all in. And MaxFax now does expand. Meanwhile, Nightmare goes for the proxy in the center of the map, but it is spotted already. Proxy Stargate, and already the pylon is being focused down. Oh. And this pylon is going to fall. Now, despite the pylon falling, Nightmare, he's here. He's forced to cancel. This is brutal. I was going to say he's going to try to 5-foot control the center and send a second probe and repower the Stargate and just send it anyway, but this is a rough start. A rough start for Nightmare. Oracle's on the way. The revelation of the Proxy Stargate shows us that it's not an all-in. For those owning Proxy Stargate, it's just a way to harass, just a way to get ahead economically, and is not designed to go all in. So MaxFax, he knows he's safe. He knows he can skip the Void Ray first and go Oracle instead. We have a Void Ray second just to defend, because he may just have forced an all-in. And there it is. Nightmare, he goes for the gold. I appreciate it. I would have appreciated Nightmare taking MaxFax's goal base instead, but it's okay. He's going for the gold, and so even though technically oh god, it's the Oracle is wreaking havoc, and we're getting a lot of probe kills, forcing a recall back home. 6-7 workers going down. We may not even get to saturate the goal base, because that is 9 worker kills. That is insane. Nightmare was out of position, and MaxFax is miles ahead. So what I was about to say is that even though MaxFax has a natural base, even though he's ahead of base, because Nightmare was going for the gold, He can catch up and he can keep up. He can keep up in the economy. Not after losing 9 workers. You can see here, Nightmare, he has half the worker count. Half the worker count of his opponent. And MaxPax just saw the gold base, so he's rerouting his army. And MaxPax has options. He can either push towards the gold or push towards the main. Nightmare, he can only be at one place at once, and he is in position at the goal base. MaxPax, upon realizing this, he can rotate over towards the main instead. We'll see where he does go, as he does check the gold, and he will spot the army. Oh, the Void Ray taking a lot of hits already, forcing a recall. Big overextension by MaxPax, losing a Stalker, taking damage, but the Oracle comes back in. That was 9 kills initially, plus 5, 14 kills on one Oracle. That is almost a mineral line. For one Oracle, that is crazy. And as a result, Nightmare is still miles behind. It's 15 worker kills in total. That was 1 extra because of the probe in the center of the map, if you remember. I think it was the scouting probe that went down earlier. But yeah, Nightmare, he's in a really rough place. He has an army, but doesn't have an economy to sustain it, and MaxPax should be able to catch up and then overtake Nightmare when it comes to his overall army supply. Here we go, we're diving on in. The shield battery putting in a lot of work, keeping the Stalkers alive. The Adepts are cleaned up. They get 2 worker kills and only 2 worker kills, as we at least kill the Void Ray and the shield battery. Some damage was done. But for the most part, MaxPax, he gets on top of this. He's able to stutter step forward here. Nightmare, hands off the keyboard for a moment. GG gets called. And MaxPax will take game number 1. GG, well played. That was a rough game 1. Again, for Nightmare to be scattered in the center of the map, for him to be forced to cancel that Stargate, that was already a brutal moment. That was already rough to begin with. And then he was out of position. He saw the Stargate. Maybe he was hoping it was a Void Ray first. He was woefully underprepared for the Oracle, and he lost everything. GG, well played. MaxPax takes game 1, but Nightmare has a chance at redemption. He can bring it back here in game number 2. Let's go. We have a chance to tie it up, and right now, Psystorm, they're leading 2-1. They do have a lead in this series. Can they extend it even further, or can Maturino fight back? I want to believe. I want to believe we can force the ace match, or we can tie it up 1-1 and make this more competitive. But we'll see if that is going to be the case. I can totally see. Oh, yeah, I'm glad you see it as well. Yeah. It wasn't just me. I saw the excitement in his eyes, Bafi. Neither Aragfire or Geralt are playing, so it shouldn't be a problem. Yeah. It looks like maybe just one of them is unavailable. Hopefully, we're able to find everyone, and hopefully we're able to have Aragfire versus Geralt soon TM after the series. And here we go. We're just getting ready for that second game, and it looks like we have our map of choice. Nightmare, he's going for Oceanborn. And we're loading in the top left-hand corner for Match Arena Esports. It is Nightmare. And in the bottom right for Psystorm, we have MaxPax. I just need as we are just settling into our game so far. Once again, MaxPax going for the low ground gate expand, and Nightmare is doing his best MaxPax impression, and this is what I want out of players. Take it to MaxPax, get down and dirty, play his game, as Nightmare is also going for the gate expand on the low ground as well. Now, what is interesting about this is that, one, Nightmare is opening up double gas, so he's going to have faster tech, and MaxPax, upon seeing this, he can also pull off one base all-ins. He doesn't have to go for an economic opener. Upon seeing how exposed his opponent is, he himself can become the aggressor. I'm curious if he will, or if he won't, because for now, only a single gas, which means MaxPax is most likely to just go for an expansion from here. There it is. There is that expand from MaxPax. This time not going Stargate first. That is a Nexus before Cybercore. So very economic here from MaxPax. As of course we're getting into our openers, we can see Nightmare just slightly behind in the economy as a result. Sorry, just catching up. So we do have Nightmare being slightly behind. He should expand here eventually as he's just banking up those resources, but because he went for a faster second gas geyser, it did lead into a delayed Nexus here, as it is now thrown down and MaxPax will get eyes on it. He does see, he does know. Meanwhile, MaxPax, of course, is working on his own Stargate back at home. Going to be a Stargate follow-up here from MaxPax. So far, unscouted. It is a little bit further back. The pylon actually finished. Did finish for Nightmare. We can see MaxPax, he realizes that there isn't really aggression coming, so he cancels the shield battery. He doesn't need it. And we have Stargate versus Stargate. Now, I'm curious if MaxPax is going to go Phoenix or Oracle. We have the potential for Phoenix Wars here if both players go for Phoenixes. But I believe both players haven't scouted each other, so they're not fully aware of what's happening. Yeah, you can see, for a moment, MaxPax started Phoenix, but he changes his mind. He goes into an Oracle first. Oh, and Nightmare is going double Stargate. I like this. Let's go. Double Stargate instead, but MaxPax, he shades into the main base, and he should get eyes on this. There we go. He sees the Stargate, sees the Phoenix, sees a second Stargate as well. And MaxPax now knows that he is behind in the Phoenix production. And immediately he starts up his own. We cancel? I don't know if I like this. We cancel the second Stargate. We're going straight for a fleet beacon for, I imagine, a fast mothership. Meanwhile, MaxPax, he responds with his own second Stargate, getting into mass Phoenix production. I'll be honest, I kind of favor the mass Phoenix. I feel like that's the route that we want to take. Oracle goes in, 3 workers go down at the natural. Phoenixes are on the way. So there is a timing. There is a window. If we do go for a mothership rush, where the mothership can kind of throw down Cloak and Nightmare essentially can snowball out of control because we don't have detection. No, we're rushing into Phoenix range. I'm still not too fond of this because this tells us that Nightmare is indeed going mass Phoenix, but he's just going to have less. And Phoenix range, it is a good upgrade, don't get me wrong, but it's not as impactful because once the distance is closed, it doesn't matter. The range won't matter if we're able to close that distance and get on top of the army anyway. So yeah, I'm curious. This is going to be very micro-intensive from Nightmare. He has to make sure that he's able to stay at range here against the Phoenixes of MaxPax. MaxPax is getting into his own fleet beacon. Pumping out 2 Phoenixes at a time. I should soon be pumping out 2 Phoenixes at a time. And now we have the second Stargate from Nightmare. So at the moment, MaxPax is ahead in Phoenixes, and he's going to be further ahead in Phoenixes as the game goes on. Range, of course, is going to kick in, and we'll see if Nightmare can make use of it. We'll see if it can make up for his Phoenix deficit overall. As he's going to be pushing in, catching a couple of probes. 2, 3 workers go down. Already 1 Phoenix falls, 2nd Phoenix as well. We're trading 2 for 1, a better trade for MaxPax. A big reason for that was the shield battery. Shield battery was within range, and once again we close the distance, and range does not matter. This is what I was worried about. Like, range is a nice upgrade, but if you close the distance, it's not applicable. And yeah, the higher Phoenix count does overwhelm Nightmare. We can bring the production. Stasis Wrap goes off, and this is just too much already as we're just picking off Phoenix after Phoenix. Max Pack snowballing out of control, and how do you make up for this? If we're making 2 Phoenixes at a time perpetually, then yeah, Max Pax is just perpetually ahead. GG gets called, and that's going to be it. Max Pax takes game number 2. GG. Ay. That was again a really risky move out of Nightmare to cancel the Stargate to rush into Phoenix range instead, which means he falls behind in the Phoenix count. And sure, he has range, but as we saw there, that extra range just doesn't matter if you're able to get on top of the army. And Max Pax is exactly what he was able to do, able to overwhelm just with a higher Phoenix count overall, and GG gets called. Psystorm, they lead the series 3-1, and I hope that we're able to play out Arcfire versus Geralt. It was set for the first series, and it was delayed because we're missing a player. I don't know if we're missing Arcfire or Geralt, and I'm sure we're going to give them a little bit more time. If we don't find the player in time, then we may get a walkover, and that is going to be less than ideal. So hopefully we can find our players, and hopefully everything is okay. Meanwhile, GG, congratulations to Max Pax. Nightmare had a couple of rough games there, both in game 1 and game 2. Wish him the best. We know how amazing he is as a player, and yeah, it was just an unfortunate series here against Max Pax. Regardless, we're going to be going on a short break. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. We have found our players. We were concerned that there would maybe be a forfeit and a walkover, but let's go. We have them both. Ooh, we're warmed up and ready to go. We don't know which player we were waiting for, but regardless, we have found them, and it is going to be Arcfire versus Geralt in a PvP. The pressure is on Maturino to fight back, and here we go in the top left-hand corner. Oh, sorry, bottom right, we have Arcfire for Maturino. And in the bottom right, we have Geralt, the Psystorm. So top left, Arcfire. Bottom right, Geralt. We have our PvP. Vamonos. And this should be a much more standard PvP. This should be more by the book. What I mean by that, we should be seeing some double gate openers. Double gate openers into the mid game. The Max Pack series was over very quickly just because of the openers. You know, certain players would get really big leads and the other wouldn't. That's just how Max Pax is able to take advantage of a chaotic situation like PvP. But here, we should see a very different dynamic. Very different dynamic here. Which I appreciate. Here we go. Again, for now, 2 gate versus 2 gates should be being set up. And we'll keep an eye on what initial units are made as well. That will give us a sign of how our players want to approach this, whether we want to be hyper aggressive or not. To put things into context as well, Geralt needs 1 win. Geralt needs 1 win here for his team to take it all to become or to win this series. Meanwhile, Arcfire, he needs to win both to force the ace match. And that's really the first step, because the ace is most likely going to force out Max Pax, and how do we bring him down? You know, it's going to be a PvP regardless. And do we want a rematch between Maxpax and Nightmare? Do we want to send out Estrella? I do think Estrella is a very chaotic player, and I would love to see an Estrella versus Maxpax. I think that would be very interesting. But, you know, I guess maybe I'm getting ahead of myself because that is what we can start theorizing if Arcfire is able to pull it off. For now, Geralt, he goes for a hidden proxy pylon, and this should be for a proxy Stargate. I'm just being reminded now, and I'm sure Kuro from production is fully aware as well. Geralt has been very fond of proxy Stargate in PvP. When we casted him, the last couple of times we casted Geralt in PvP, he proxy Stargates every game. Every single game proxy Stargate at least once a series, if not every game in a series as well. Just very fond of it. I mean, it's not bad. It's not a bad opener. It's a way to get ahead economically, to get into a mineral line, and to kill some workers. Arcfire, meanwhile, he is aware that the pylon is missing. He knows it's somewhere. He's checking, he's looking, and he will come across the proxy. Very nice scouting pattern here from Arcfire. Again, very wise to double check upon seeing that the second pylon was not in the main, and he does confirm the Stargate, does see the Oracle coming out. Immediately, he reroutes his attention from the Stalkers. They're making their way towards a proxy, and they should shut it down. But Geralt is not too far behind. He's looking to try to keep this proxy alive. The Adepts do make it in. They focus down the probe. And, oh, the tall grass working against Arcfire. Sorry, against Geralt there. Takes him a little bit too long, and the pylon will fall. But a second probe has arrived, and we're looking to repower. There it is. Pylon is thrown down once again. Third Stalker has arrived. Arcfire, can he deny this pylon? It's going to be close, but we're up to 4 Stalkers, and we should be able to deny this Stargate for a second time. Up, it's going to be close. Yeah, we can force a cancel. Oracle will not finish, but Geralt, he comes back in. The probe is coming back in to throw down a third pylon, and he will get it down. Adept makes it into the main base. Oh, we may even... we have a shield battery in position. We have a warp in as well. We will get it back up and running. Meanwhile, it looks like, yeah, that Oracle will come out, I believe. The pylon is about to finish up. But meanwhile, Arcfire doesn't care. Not anymore. He's going to be applying pressure to the natural base. Trying to force his way across the map. Into that main. Or just denying the natural even. That's it does sustain a lot of damage. As did the Phoenix force a cancel on the Oracle? Or did it die? Because there was a Phoenix camping in that location. Yeah, this Phoenix here. 0 kills. Okay. It looks like we canceled. Looks like the Oracle was cancelled in the end. It is going to be rebuilt, but yeah, it's going to be shut down. Oof. That is 3 pylons, by the way. 3 pylons were invested into this proxy, and it just doesn't come to pass. Oh, wait. No, the Oracle survived. Let's go. It was recalled back home. Okay. So the Oracle did make it out. It didn't die to the Oracle. It did make it out, and it can add some value, but as we can see so far, hasn't really paid for itself. Now, does Geralt repower this Stargate for a 4th time? Does he does he go for a 4th pylon? Aye. He might. As for now, the Oracle making its way towards the main. There's already a shield battery in position, so this Oracle shouldn't get too much done. There's a Stalker as well, so we can DPS the Stasis Trap or the Oracle itself. Stasis Trap is going to be thrown down, up, and we'll catch 2 probes and a Stalker as well. Not bad. Not a bad start here. Blink is still on the way, but the Phoenix will chase this down, and yeah, that is going to be the end of the Oracle, as it won't be able to outpace this Phoenix. Yeah, Oracle does end up getting focused down. Now we can focus on our main defense here, as Geralt, he's working towards Immortal production. He is behind when it comes to Blink. Blink is now done for Arcfire. Geralt 1 step behind here. Building up his Immortals. 3rd base is delayed. And Geralt is stuck on 2 bases. We'll get a Phoenix. Ooh, just barely. And we have to respect the Immortal. We have to respect the defensive position here of Geralt. Oh. As Geralt does force Arcfire back. Of course, Blink about to catch up here for Geralt. Third base on the way for Aragfire as well. When it comes to the main armies here, once we can take a moment to take a step back here and just look at the game state. Essentially, Geralt, I would kind of give him the edge. He does have 2 Immortals now with his main army. He has a Forge on the way for +1, so does Aragfire, but again, the main difference in the composition of the armies are the Immortals of Geralt. Aragfire does have a higher Stalker count, but I mean, that's what the Immortals are for, to make up for that. As we're kind of settling into our game, settling into the mid-game. We had a pretty chaotic start when it came to the skirmish around the proxy, but outside of that, things have been looking pretty stable. As we do have Geralt now moving out. Gonna be applying some pressure to the third base, or even just trying to catch that probe. Yeah. As we do rotate towards the third of Aragfire. For the most part, he's in position. He is waiting for the army, and he's even going to get a Stalker. Ooh. Nice pickup. Stalker goes down. Geralt continuing Immortal production, working on +1. Aragfire just now getting his Robos, so he will eventually work towards Immortals, or we could even go straight for Disruptors, like Stalker Disruptor, solid composition. Wouldn't be opposed to it. Sedep's going to be baiting out a blink, threatening a shade. Charge is on the way. Geralt, he's refining his army, working towards charge lots, soon to be. I was going to say Archons, never mind. Geralt is the first to throw down a bay. That's a Robotics Bay and a facility as well. Getting ready for double Disruptor production. I'm a little bit surprised that Aragfire hasn't teched in that direction. Like, pure Blink Stalker Disruptor is the thing. It is the thing, and it's something that Aragfire is not working towards. Just pure Blink Stalker. That's all he needs. And to be fair, the Disruptors aren't out yet. We don't have that Bay finishing quite yet here, so there's a lot of potential for Aragfire as he forces a recall. The armies are going to be clashing. Revelations are thrown down. Aragfire, both players actually getting their 4th bases. Aragfire, he's got 31 Stalkers. Ay, ay, ay. But as time goes on, that Stalker count, it won't matter. Not against these Disruptors. The Prism falls. Aragfire overextending. And now he can focus on his push, but now the Disruptors have arrived. Novas are going to be available here for Geralt. The quality of his army is just getting higher and higher. And here we go. The armies are going to be skirmishing here on the left-hand side. They're just looking for a way in. We do have those Disruptors coming out. Show us the Novas, man. Show us the Novas. Yeah, as we do blink on forward, Stasis Trap is going to go off. Catches a lot of these Stalkers, actually. A lot of them are caught out. Aragfire pushing on in, pushing into these Immortals. There's no... there is a shield battery, but it's a little bit far back. Nova charge as well, further back. We dive on top of the army. We get on top of 1, 2 Disruptors. The Novas will not connect. But those Immortals, they're going ham. Oh my god! And Aragfire, he may not have taken any Novas to the face, but he lost so many Stalkers in that dive. That was not worth it. And he didn't even get every Immortal, didn't get every Disruptor. We still have some remaining. And Geralt, after that one fight, is ahead. Up until then, things were pretty close. Things were pretty even between the players, and obviously there was a lot of potential in Aragfire's army composition and just the pure Blink Stalker, but wasn't quite worth it in the end. He does go for another big warp in. He's pushing in again. Forcing back those Stalkers. Nova connects with a Sentry, takes down a Stalker as well. Aragfire trying to take another base, a 5th behind this. Warping 5 Stalkers at a time. Meanwhile, Geralt, he throws down a Dark Shrine. Can go for some DT harass. Nova goes up. Disruptor goes down. No! Oh my god, Nova will connect. Massive connection here on Arcfire, and that may just be it. Losing far too much in this dive. The Immortal going ham. One Disruptor barely survives, and that's going to be the entire army of Arcfire getting cleaned up. One Stalker, no. 0 Stalkers will make it out. GG gets called, and Geralt will take game 1. And the series for Psystorm. GG. GG, well played. Again, that was quite a close game for a long time there, but the quality of the army from Geralt was just getting higher and higher. As we mentioned, with the Immortals, with the Disruptors, Arcfire, going Pure Blink Stalker, it can work, definitely, but you do need to slowly pick away at the army, right? Whether it's Stalkers, Immortals, Disruptors. We saw more than twice, Arcfire, he dove on the army, and it just wasn't quite worth it. Maybe misjudging the situation, especially the first dive. It was so unfortunate that dive happened to coincide with Geralt's army breaking free from the stasis. So suddenly, Arcfire got surrounded, and just took far too many losses, and GG, well played. With that, Psystorm will take it. Match Reno, they needed the 2-0. They needed the 2-0 here to force the ace match, and alas, that is no longer possible. But Arcfire, he's still fighting back for himself and for his team, can still put a point on the board for the overall standings. As game 2 is going to be on Hecate. Here we go. As we get ready for the final game of this series. Here we go. As we're getting into this, and in the bottom left-hand corner, oh, we have for Matcherino, Arcfire. And in the top right, we have Geralt for Psystorm. And again, the pressure is now off of Geralt. He needed 1 win, and he got it. Whew. And it was quite a win as well. You could see Geralt breathe a very big sigh of relief after that game. Now he can be a little bit more comfortable getting into game number 2. You can say the same for Arcfire, where there's a little bit less pressure on him now. He can just get into this with a little bit less on his mind, a little bit less on his shoulders. Geralt is in the house. Oh no. Not like this. Geralt, he's escaped the attic. He's loose, Papi, he's loose. Where is he? He's calling from inside the house. Ay, ay, ay. This is what I was saying. Again, like, he's not in the attic anymore. I'm telling you, Estrella, he took over. Not like this. As for now, double gate openers from both Geralt and Arcfire. 2 gates all around. Probes are marauding the map, looking for potential pylon locations, looking for potential proxies. There it is. We do have our proxy pylon thrown down for Geralt. Now, this pylon is pretty far away, so it doesn't look like he's going to commit, but it does look like Arcfire is going to commit as he throws down his pylon and he gets spotted. He, I believe, got scattered? Question mark? Did he? Up. Check his vision. No shot. Did he miss it? Did Geralt? Okay. Thank God. He's just going to rotate around. He gets onto the high ground. He sees the Robo. This is a 1-base all-in and scouted well ahead of time. Mentioned before, Proxy Stargate is just to get ahead economically. Proxy Robo, we're all in. We are all in. Now, with this, we can get into either Immortals or, of course, a Warp Prism to get Adepts into the main base. We'll see how we coincide this, how many gateways are thrown down alongside this as well, as Geralt does slip into the main, gets eyes on 2 gates. And his Stalkers, they're making their way towards the pylon. Oh, no. The army of Arcfire is distracted. This Stalker is stuck in the main. The pylon finishes, and it cannot break free. And that means that this pylon is going to go down. There's no saving it. Immortals on the way. It's being chronoed, but this Robo is going to be depowered. Now, we can throw down another pylon. We can try to keep this proxy going, but this is a disastrous start for Arcfire, as the Immortal is halfway done. We have a sentry going for hallucinated scout. Another stalker rocking up. You can see Aragfire. He wants to try to repower this. He's here for it, and Geralt is also here to intercept, waiting for what comes next. Yeah, probe goes down. Aragfire getting caught out of position as well. The sentry has been spotted. Geralt, he rotates around to the high ground instead. He is ahead in stalkers, ahead in DPS. Yeah, bullying back the army. He gets one. And he's going to get a second. Not like this. Yeah, sentry goes down. 2 stalkers barely survive. Robo still depowered. And, I mean, we have a lot of skirmishes going on in the central map. Things are getting a little bit chaotic here as stalkers are going down for both players. But I still need to give the edge to Geralt overall, as he does come out on top, does trade better. He's checking the proxy location once again to make sure that it isn't repowered. And it isn't. Probe is on the way. Geralt is looking to intercept. Up! Oh, the move command. Aragfire shoots first. He does shoot first, and he will not get a kill on the stalker. Casito, papi, casito. Yeah, going to be trading 1 for 1. The rest of the stalkers are arriving. Geralt is slightly ahead in the overall stalker count, and yeah, he does catch the army. The pylon is on the way. The Immortal is going to finish, by the way. It will complete. It's too late. Yeah, the Immortal comes out, and Geralt is caught out instead. Dropping a stalker. So Aragfire, he's still all in. He's like, it's still all or nothing here for Aragfire. He has the Immortal. He has a backbone to his army. Meanwhile, Geralt's getting further ahead economically. He's up 10 workers. Shield battery overcharge is available. He's getting his own defensive Immortal as well. Here we go. Yeah, we have the better concave. And with the help of this shield battery, we cannot be broken. Like, I don't see Aragfire breaking the natural. He could maybe divert his attention towards the main. That is a possibility. But for now, the stalker count is just getting higher and higher. Blink is done. We dive on top of the prism. We get on top of the Immortal as well. And that's going to be all she wrote. That's going to be all that's left. GG gets called, and Geralt will take the 2-0. Popping off and cleaning it up here for his team. Rounding it out for Slice Agree. The thumbs up. Good job, Pappy. My condolences to Aragfire. My condolences, as there was a lot of pressure on him and he just wasn't able to pull it off in the end. Unfortunately, his match was delayed, and again, we're not too sure as to the reasoning for it, but regardless, he was at least here to play it out, and Psystorm do take it 5-1. GG, well played. Against Psystorm Gaming, they've been looking damn strong this season. They've been looking good, powerful even, and yeah, they're looking to make a playoff run if possible. Meanwhile, Maturino just struggling a little bit more here. And that is our series done for the night. In 2 days, Saturday, not tomorrow, but in 2 days on Saturday, we have day number 2 of WTL Round 7. It's going to be the Starving Camels versus the Kwangdong Freaks and Platinum Heroes versus Dragon Kai Z Gaming. Again, this is only day 1 for the week. We have day 2 on Saturday and day 3 on Sunday as well. So plenty of matches available this week for WTL. She's going to step on us. She's going to step on us. Shout out to Honkai Stars. They do sponsor this tournament. Ubu, Papi, Ubu. And thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. I do know that ESL Masters is currently ongoing as well. So a bit of an overlap when it comes to the content. But hope you all enjoyed yourselves. And yeah, check out ESL Masters Winter, the European regionals, as they are currently ongoing. What match is going on at the moment? I think it's Alasia versus Lambo, ZVZ. So you can check out the main stream for that. Meanwhile, we are done for now. I say for now because I'm very tempted we may be live in an hour or two, in a couple of hours, with ESL Masters Americas. The Americas regionals are in a couple of hours, and we do have permission to co-stream. We have permission to co-stream the European regionals as well, but we were casting, and we don't have permission to start like mid broadcast. We have to be at the beginning of the broadcast for the regional. So we missed out on Europe, but we'll be there for the Americas. So if you're interested, then we will be live covering the Americas region. Otherwise, thank you so much. Thank you so much for tuning in. A big shout out to Kuro. Kuro has been handling the production. She always handles the production for WTL. So much love. Thank you so much for making sure that everything is not catching fire. And yeah, we're going to be back in 2 days. 2 days for more World Team League, WTL. Otherwise, there's plenty of content here on the horizon. We're going to be co-streaming ESL Masters Americas. We're going to be live tomorrow with ESL Masters. Yeah, just ESL Masters. Yeah, just co-streaming every day, Papi, every day. And yeah, with that, you can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Discord. We were also restreaming or dual streaming over on YouTube, so you can follow us on YouTube if you wish. Again, we have been doing so for the past week or so. So I hope you'll enjoy the content. And with that, we're going to be heading off. Thank you so much for watching. You can follow myself at light_VIP. I stream whenever I can, whenever I'm not casting, but we're usually casting, so I don't get to stream. I don't get the ladder. Feels bad, man. And we'll see you guys next time. Until then, hasta luego. Bye.